Reignited, a team that is on fire lately, but Bryce T is looking to douse this fire. He's going to be leading the Havoc in this match that we've got today. Welcome everyone to the stream.
Yeah, welcome everyone. I am Pulse, your colorcaster for today. My play-by-play is going to be Rien, and Bryce T,
You know
as
who
you
it
said, is going to try to cause some havoc to Reignited. Try to douse out that team. Make sure they stay out. They don't reignite at all. All right, I promise the wordplay is gonna go away after a little bit.
It'll improve, okay? And we're getting started here. Like I was trying to think of a joke for a long time, couldn't find anything. First map's gonna be Nepal. That's what it's gonna be. It's a fun map. I like Nepal actually as a control map itself. And we're gonna start on Sanctum. This is the boop map for sure. This is where you get the boops.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna see a lot of Roadhog, maybe some Lucio, Orisa with the holds. We're gonna see some good comps coming out here, and we'll see as teams are picking their roles right now. We got some good sides coming out of Havoc and Reignited.
Havoc, they're a team that is pretty aggressive, honestly. They do play fairly aggressively. They were running Diva and a Reinhardt the last time we saw them, but looks like they finally figured out the meta. It is not Ryan Diva, it is Ryan Zarya. So that is what they're going to be bringing into this fight against the Reignited. And of course, if you're bringing the Zarya, you gotta have the Hanzo. You know, it's like that old book. It's like if you give a mouse a cookie, well, if you give your DPS a Zarya, you want a Hanzo to go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you 100%. And we're just gonna start rolling out here pretty soon.
And you know, also there's a Doomfist that's coming out. I like this pick actually. This is very niche pick.
Yep, trying to get that environmental plays maybe.
Yeah, and early kills especially too are so good with Doomfist because he just pops off left and right, easy clap. You know, punches him into the wall, craters him. Really, and we're not going to see Lucio, unfortunately. Bubble T switches back onto the Mercy to pocket that Pharah of Bear. But Vampiric is dropped fairly low. They're holding up on the side here, which is good positioning. This is where you want to be, you know, on this high ground on the side here. But it looks like they're going to start moving towards the port now. They've got the aerial damage of Bear on that Pharah. Hezzer knows low. He's going to find the Keelan in the back. Gutan dives in. He's going to get the bubble from K-Bird in his face. And K-Bird just gives him an orb of Discord. Zenyatta in his hometown. Don't mess with it. You know what I'm saying? Big Head booped into Vampiric. Vampiric very low, stuck in the corner. He's going to be taken down. So Big Head picking up an early kill there to start this off and making a lot of space now. Big Head, big hitbox, and he's just pushing him back. Bryce T as well on the side. Look at that Big Head ult already.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good push. That was a good hold from Havoc. That's it. Sorry, I just forget the team names there. Good hold from Havoc. They tried to rotate. Oh, good start to a fight.
Brutal right there. 2 kills early on. That's just gonna Pulse right off. I'm sure he had something big brain to say, but they're gonna get pushed back anyway. So Pulse, I'm just back to you. Continue.
Yeah. So they Reignited tried to rotate all the way on the left side from their point of view, and it was good from Havoc to try to take what they're doing. They were trying to control the map, and they just squashed it out. That Fair is gonna try to control some ground here.
Yeah, Havoc, so you see they knew what Reignited was doing onto that side ground, and they just, instead of going over and fighting them, which is perhaps what they might have wished, they just said, screw it, moved over to the side. Big Head almost goes over the edge there. He's going to get sent back to the spawn. Here's a big Graviton Surge, however, and they have the Dragon Surge combo to go with it. Not able to be eaten, but there's Transcendence there to soak up most of the damage. Big Head Brez grab back into the fight, and K-Birds get the DMX on Vampiric. Boiler goes over the edge there. I'm not really sure what happened there, but Vampiric is gonna die right there to Big Head once more, so it's 66% and counting here for the Havoc.
Yeah, that was great from Havoc to try to swap out a push. Big Head dying early in that fight. You think, okay, the tide turns definitely towards Reignited, but they still just kept their cool and was able to hold them back.
It was the ult combo. That's what sealed the deal. Really is. You have the Dragon Surge combo. Just do that, win every fight. It's simply that easy. Goo time though, with the slam jam. He's looking for something big. Is he gonna deliver? Taser and Will in his stead. It was blocked by Big Headed in the backline. Various wreaks some havoc in there onto the Havoc. Picks up 2 with a charge kill onto Bryce T and takes down Robo Dude. And then Bear with a well-placed shot into K-Birds is gonna flip this back in favor of the Reignited.
Yeah, that was perfectly executed by the Reignited. They tried to rotate behind them. They did the pincer technique, and you know that's just so hard to react to. You don't know which way to point your skill into Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, you know, Big Head, he was lost, dazed and confused, because he turns on one hand to block Time, but then he's got the orbs from Hazerton to deal with. Time, no pressure. He's gonna have to uppercut his way out of danger. Sure, you can there. He punches Big Head into the wall, so he's delaying this push by just a little bit. He's still got the Shatter. He's holding on to it for quite a bit here, but Furious is on shield, on Earth Shatter duty here, blocking the shatters, and they're pushing forward Time. They need to stop Time here. He's popping off right now. They're just letting him get these kills, and they're not really countering him, and that's what let him pick up that double kill right there.
Yeah, and you know, this is the kind of errors we've seen before from Havoc. Havoc needs to realize that Overwatch is a game of adjustments, and we've kind of seen them. Oh, good pick by Bear, but we've kind of seen them
See through the daggers.
run their head into a wall repeatedly, just trying to run the same comp at them.
They are not one to, I suppose, learn from their mistakes in a way. So that's going to be the target of this team, and what we want to see from them is, do they realize what's going wrong and how do they counter it? Because they usually win the first fight, but then they just fail to retake, and they need to block Time. They need to shut him down. It seems they're going to do that in Notorious, picking up the kill there, and this is their chance to push. I don't know why they're not getting on the point right now. Foiler positioning error outside of the shield, should have stuck behind the big old shield, the big head, but he's gonna get res back into the fight. But while they were delaying that entire time, Time is back into the fight. There's a Diva bomb from Vampiric. It's on the side. It finds Notorious. He has the bubble, but can move by himself on the point. Takes out Big Head. That's a fatty shatty if I've ever seen one right there. Bear. Who needs the Dragon Surge when you've got the Dragon Shatter? Takes out K-Birds and Foiler. Foils the plans of the Havoc. And just like that, Reignited is going to take the first map. Unless Havoc keeps
Reignited living up to their name. I mean, they went down 94% to 0, and they still came back with a full-on hold, so they just reignited their team and were able to hold it.
very impressive. And Time, I'm going to say he was the reason they won that round. He went off. He was punching him left and right, basically turned the Havoc from a formidable team into really just a punching bag for him. They didn't do a good job of shutting him down, and then the one time they did shut him down, they didn't take advantage of it. They didn't push at all, which was interesting because it led to their eventual demise, as they just couldn't get on the point in time, and then if they did, then Time was already back. And it's errors like these that'll lose you games right there, not knowing when to go in on pushes.
And I think Junkrat is a good switch here off that McCree. This is going to be some close quarters right here, so Junkrat is going to impound a lot of damage.
You know, 130 per hit. Junkrat is the spam rat, and Virus there skates over, hits the ramp, actually goes up his Amir, gets some airtime. He takes a lot of damage though, and speaking of taking damage, Foiler used to be a Junkrat, but then he took an arrow, not to the knee, but to the head, and that's going to shut him down. But you can't res the Resurrector as Robo Dude. Risky position, he's going to go down, and now the Havoc are just forced to retreat.
Yeah, Robo Dude tried to go for that res onto Foiler to try to keep the fight going, but their enemies then, recognizing that, they just pick him out.
Yeah, Zen on mercy duty. He saw the target, calculated his shots, calculated everything, of course, and just went in, took out Robo Dude, and that's just gonna halt their push right away. Big Head here, I like what he's doing. He's not just walking forward, he's walking forward and jumping. Bryce T though takes the punch, and he's gonna be D-Mac'd. Speaking of taking the punch, he's gonna take a tackle there. Vampiric and Big Head gets the D-Mac on him, and Time is finished off. This with their carry gone. Can they still pop off? Foiler can. He's gonna get two right there with a nice grenade, but got a Transcendence coming out to block the Dragon Strike of Bear, and they're on the point as well. Foiler picks up another kill, 3 so far for him. Can he make it 4? Bryce T steals his thunder, and Furious goes down, and Reignited pushed back, so Havoc now point in their favor.
Yeah, and I think Havoc right now, the main goal to work on is get their support and their tank line to communicate more. There was often times where we see a Robo Dude trying to go off and res someone, and there was no Rhine Shield or Diva Matrix to kind of absorb that damage that Mercy might take as the fight's going to start now. So we're going to see if they can communicate a little better.
We're going to see that. They switch over to the dive. Big Head, of course, on that Winston now. Valkyrie is popped to keep the team alive. Bryce T flies into Time to try and space him out. He's going to use the slam here in the back line, and he finds Foiler. Bear, meanwhile, finds Big Head on the point with the Monkey down. They don't have any sustained or consistent damage outside of Bryce T, and as he's D-Mech with just the Buddy Blaster, can he make something work here? Dragon Strike on the point, however. There's as I'm saying Dragon Strike, a tire comes in from the side. Foiler It's not enough though. There's not simply enough damage. But with Big Head coming back with the rest of the team, the reinforcements have arrived that Foiler needed. And now they're looking to start their push on this point. Bryce T back into the mech. They're trying to make something work as Zerton goes down. Notorious picks up another D-mech there onto Vampiric. Bryce T steals the kill. Bear does D-mech Bryce T, so he's going to be out of mech in this next fight. But great work out of Foiler there. And he's now going to switch over to the Tracer, which is probably a better option for these close quarters fights. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get killed by the Rhine though.
Yeah, and I like the switch from Big Head to go over to that Winston. The Winston Diva is definitely the definition of a dive is Winston Diva tank line. And you know, once he gets that primal rage, he's gonna try to push people off that point, maybe for that 99% hold.
Yeah, and another thing you can do with the primal rage is just stall the point for so long at 1,000 health and all that CC. Big Head off to the side, Bryce T off to the side as well. Bryce T is gonna take down Time to start this fight off, and you got K-Birds with a Transcendence, a little early perhaps, but it was well timed enough where that they're gonna be able to push them back again as they're just cleaning up in their backline here. Foiler and Big Head, the dynamic duo. The Wonder Twins. There we go. That's that.
Yeah, and that whole push was stopped because of K-Birds. They, Time landed a seismic slam and a punch.
He's getting too far forward in this is what's happening. He just gets too far forward into the team. He goes too far in. So we're seeing a bit of the communications start to suffer here as Big Head pops the Primal Rage. What's he gonna do? So the CC, the stun, he takes a Diva Bomb right to the face and just laughs it off. Pushes Vampiric off the point, and then K-Birds just sends him back to the spawn as well. There's another slam, but there's a bomb in the back line. It's gonna find two there, right there. Time though. Finds two as well into Bryce T. K-Birds. Bryce T post-mortem gets the huge Diva Bomb. Massive. Absolute unit there, and just shuts that push down.
Yeah, that'll stop an entire push like that. I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes it's as easy as pressing Q at the right time.
You see the Shatter came out, and then he pressed Q, and then he pressed Q, died to the Shatter, but the bomb was in the backline and it was there, and it killed pretty much everyone. And we're now gonna see the Reignited switch over to this dive, or dive-ish comp with Fury is still on this round. I don't know if they're gonna switch it up more. What do you think, Bulls? What do you think they're gonna try to run here?
It's kind of like a half dive, half brawler. They're definitely looking to put a lot of health on that point. Yeah.
Bubble Tea has the Moira, and then you have the burst as well as Lucio, so definitely a comp that's looking to sustain a lot of damage. He does switch over to the Ana, so looks like they're going for a big burst healer comp. Gonna move out onto the side. Big Head drops down to the side, not where you want to be as Ryan. You want to be blocking your team, and that just lets Furious get free ground there. Time jumps into the back, wreaks and havoc. Concussion from Big Head and Furious there as they collide. Time in the back line is able to find your B-Birds, and now he's just getting converged upon here. Big Head, that was a positioning error from the start, and you saw how it affected the rest of the fight. Notorious though, ooh, we got a DC. Our first DC. Somebody mark that down here. We'll get a DC counter if we can. But let's break down this fight so far that's happening. So how the positioning error from Big Head just caused the result of the fight that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, he got knocked down off that stairway, couldn't block his team. Havoc isn't really sure how to handle this. A lot of HP being thrown at them. The Reinhardt, Winston, Diva. That's just kind of hard. I mean, that kind of all just falls on Foiler and Notorious. Their DPS. They're trying to eat that down. I mean, even if Bryce Head was, or even if Big Head, sorry, Bryce Head, Big Head was up there holding them, it was just kind of gonna be hard for them to win that fight in general. It's just because there's a lot of HP there. They have that Winston who can just go through shields no matter what. So, I mean, Havoc's just gonna have to adjust and come back strong.
That's gonna be the burning question. Can they continue to adjust? And you know, Time dove into the back line. If Big Head was there, would he been able to? Would he? Oh my goodness! Would he have been able to do enough damage to take down Time? So you know, it's all hypothetical, and you know, just depending on the decisions that these players make in game, it's crazy. There's infinite different possibilities of scenarios and what could happen, how fights can play out, and it all depends on how these players go about it and their mechanics, game sense, communication. So many factors involved in Overwatch.
Yeah, exactly. We apologize for this long pause here, but this gives us a chance to kind of break down. It's one win for both teams so far, one map win. We see some good and bad come out from both of these teams. It's just sometimes when they get both of these teams, I think equally when they get pressured, the comms may be going a little crazy there. They need to just kind of react to getting dived on a little bit more, and we're gonna see if Havoc can come back and try to do it. But the last two things I have in my kill feed are Havoc getting two, or Notorious on Havoc getting two. So, this could be the shift in the fight that they need, or it could just be a whole on reset. We're about to see.
Yeah, we're getting the news now that Bubble Tea is getting back on, so we're gonna try to get the game restarted as soon as possible. So again, sorry for the delay, but hey, it happens sometimes. Yeah, polls definitely, I agree. Notorious right here gets the 2 kills. This could be, Overwatch League, a sour moment turned sweet. Or we're not affiliated with Sour Patch Kids. We don't have any big brand sponsors. We're just report. Oh well, no budget. But Notorious, this could be exactly what the Havoc needs to be able to turn this fight back in their favor. Because I mean, if you look at the kill feed right now, only Big Head is down for the Havoc, but on the Reignited, Azerton and Bubble Tea were both taken out. So it's a 5v, it's a 5v4 currently, and with both supports down, the Reignited have no healing, and Vampiric is very low as we see on the point. And of course, I can see the outline of Bryce T. He's right there. He's ready to demech Vampiric. So I'm until the match repauses, I'm gonna say for now, this is my prediction that Havoc are gonna be able to turn this fight around. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean they have a pretty good shot at it. I think the way you shut down a triple tank comp is to just focus on. There's 3 people with a lot of HP, and there's 3 people that are considered squishies. So just focus on the squishies, and if you bring those down, all 6 of you guys could then focus on the big HP people in front of you. So,
Hey, Bubble Tea is back.
And there we go. We got reconnected, and like I said, this is a good start with 2 of the squishies going down. So let's see.
Yeah, you focus the squishies, and the rest of them die. So you just click the squishies, dude. Lol, forehead. It's sometimes it really is just that easy, And another thing, if you're running against a triple tank, is don't get overwhelmed by all the health that they have, because the tanks are going to be up close and personal to you, and you've got all this health at you. You panic, right? You're like, I can't win this, but just laugh it off. Your support's got you. Trust your supports.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta adjust to. You can't play the whole Reinhardt is the person that's gonna give you a lot of protection. You can't really rely on that too much, because a lot of DPS will be scared of that hammer and just of the space they get on. And as the game continues now, we're about to see if it makes a difference.
Yep, Vampiric is demech there, but Beerus picks up the charge kill onto Foiler here. K-Birds finds Beerus, however. Again, due time, he's low, and with the Discord Orb, Reignited are going to start off with this point. Notorious puts an arrow through that, threads the needle right there. And K-Birds is going to go down. Robo-Dude's got to be careful here on the side, but with Baron Vampiric falling to Notorious there with that Storm Arrow, and hopefully he's back on the point, but not much he can do as the Moira, so, and Havoc are going to reflip this back into the point. Look at that, Notorious. A sour moment turned sweet for him right there.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole team was just down, and he put the team on his shoulders and kind of carried that point to theirs.
Yep, but Reignited are regrouping now, so they're going to start to push out again. We see the dive come out from due time. Notorious, though, dips out of that fight. Can't dip out of the pinball of Bubble Tea, however. So he's going to fall very early on. Dragon Strike on the point, finds Robo-Dude right away there, and Big Head falls as well. There's a Bryce T. Come on, man, what are you doing there? That was a bit of a... That was not a good bomb. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, exactly, especially when 2 of the tanks that you're going against are shield tanks. I don't know if you use that there, maybe save it for the next fight, but it's okay. Havoc still has 3 ults that they can work with. They're about to get 4 with K-Birds, so they could possibly just turn this fight back into theirs.
They just got to combo the Shatter and the Dragon Strike, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. Just 2 Qs to win this fight, and then you'll have the Reignited same QQ. You know what I'm saying? That's just how you gotta get it done here. And pushing to the back, Bear is gonna fall early on there. Good combo, communication. Foiler had the Discord Orb on him, and Bear is gonna fall very early. And Tracer just basically one clips him. We've got the Dragon Strike on the point. Notorious again goes off, gets 2 kills right there. That's just gonna finish out this point once again. But don't sleep on Foiler, because he picks up 2 in that fight as well, especially that early pick on Bear that was so crucial.
Yeah, and it's too early to name. It's way too early to name any kind of MVP of this match so far. But this map in particular, I mean, Taurus has just kind of been putting the team on his shoulders and carrying them. And look at that Sonic arrow. You could just see the whole team coming through the hallway.
Calculated, you know, Notorious, truly a big brain gamer, and he's gonna find Goo Time right away. And of course, they are not running the Mercy here, Reignited. They've got the Coalescence, however, so they can't res Goo Time back into the fight. I would have backed out here if I was Reignited, because it's only a 5v6 right now. Depends on what the Avirius can do with his Earth Shadow, however, but he's not gonna get the chance, as he's gonna get sent back to the spawn with Goo Time, and now they're getting staggered on this point. This is the opposite of what you want.
It was a little too early for Goo Time to go in by himself when that started the fight.
Dragon Strike on the point. Yeah, favorite with the Transcendence to block that off, and now Goo Time and Barret, you see, this is the stagger. This is not what you want. This is why you back out if you have one of your members down, is because this happens. Now Virius comes back, trickling onto the point so late, he's just gonna die. Then they won't have the Rhine for the next push. It's just too late. It's snowball.
Yeah, I have no idea why Reignited stayed on the 3 tank comp for so long, but it felt like it was gonna work, and that kind of turned up against them.
Yeah, they should have backed out. They had the time that they needed, so that was just the error that's going to cost them and bring this win in favor of the Havoc here.
Oh, here comes Spoiler with the play of the game with that double mine kill.
Very spicy stuff from Boiler here, and this is, my goodness, direct hit as well. Brings me back to the Demoman days of TF2. You know what I'm saying, with all those spicy projectile hits. We now on the stats page, this is the cards. You know, again, no big budget Overwatch League, so we don't have a stats page. So this is what we rely on. Look at that, 18,297 damage block from Virius there, and we made this joke on a different stream, so you guys probably haven't seen this, but how many tracers is that pulse? Bust out the calculator, do some quick maths while I buy some time over here for us. And Bryce T with 28 elims. I believe in a kill streak, and he had 30 elims overall, so he did a good job of staying alive as D.Va and just not dying. And we're gonna, in the interim here, we're gonna be choosing maps. I am, of course, the match referee as well as the play-by-play caster, so I gotta ask these teams what maps they're gonna ban here. It's gonna be an escort map next.
Okay, so I just did the maths, and I don't remember the number exactly. I just kind of put in 18,500, and that's 123 tracers. So that's a whole army of tracers that
is a whole army of tracers.
Yeah, that you're able to keep alive and defend with your shield.
And with that army of tracers, I mean, you could win any Overwatch game, really. And and you know, Bryce T as well. He did a good job on this D.Va from the last time that we saw him. And sorry, I'm just working on some stuff here with the teams. Yeah, anyways, what I'm saying is last time we saw Bryce T play, you know, he was not, I'm just gonna say he was not the most assertive D.Va, right? He was very wishy-washy, didn't really seem like he wanted to pick a specific play style and stick to it, right? And that, as a result, you know, the team suffered. So Bryce T able to finally step up on this D.Va role, play aggressive, get in the face, make the space as a tank. And I'm going to throw this over to you, Pulse. What did you see from Bryce T as the D.Va that enabled Big Head as the Reinhardt?
Yeah, Bryce T coming into style, finding a certain aggressive play that worked out for his team. Like you said, we say it all the time. The easiest way for team synergy to build is to learn your teammates' weaknesses and strengths. And I feel like for a while, it was kind of hard for Havoc to tell Bryce T's weaknesses and strengths, but as he comes more into a play style that's more consistent, more comfortable, they're figuring it out. And if they figure out the dive could work with Bryce T being an aggressive D.Va, they're running Winston a lot. We saw it on 2 of the 3 maps we just played. Winston came out twice. We had the Reinhardt once, but other than that, yeah, it was mostly Winston. They had a good dive, and they were able to hold back a 3-tank comp, so it looked pretty well for them.
Yeah, the dive, and of course, you know, you have Bryce T to support. They really dive. That's what dive depends on, is the 2 tanks of the Winston and the D.Vas. You gotta count on your other tank, you know, to be sure that they're gonna back you up when you dive, and shows good communication between Bryce T and Big Head that they're able to do so. They're again gonna be running this Rhine D.Va, so it's unconventional, but so far it seems to be working for them.
Yeah, and It's at times I think it's the jump that'll scare off a lot of DPS. Because you're not going to block as much damage as Reinhardt if you're Winston. And honestly, at times you're not even going to do as much damage just because that Reinhardt swing will do 75 damage each, and you're kind of a low DPS if you're Winston. You can tase a lot of people. It's area of effect, so the more people you tase, you're not going to do any less damage. But it's definitely you're still not going to do as much damage as one hammer swing.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that mobility, that jump, definitely could scare off a lot of DPS just because it has environmental potential, and it's just scary if you're a DPS and you see a giant monkey flying through the air coming right at you.
Exactly. You know, monkeys from the moon are just jumping through the air at you, and then you got this Korean pink bubblegum mech like flying at you too. It's terrifying. You know, I'm out of there as fast as I can, and that's a lot of times what you see happen is the teams will forget, like, hey, these can be countered. Just shoot them, right? That's what you have to do to counter dive, is you just have to focus down the tanks when they dive, or your own tanks need to counter dive the supports in the backline that get abandoned. We haven't really seen that. I mean, you know, both teams, of course, not running dive, but they're actually both going to be running the Rein Diva, and Goo Time is on this Reaper as well, so he's been getting some off meta picks. Goo Time, I see you. I like it.
Yeah, I definitely like it as well. We like these picks. We got the pharmacy comp coming out for Reignited.
Yeah, that pharmacy is going to be so crucial if they can get that damage, because they don't have a hit scan. I mean, Hanzo, maybe you could call him hit scan, just maybe, but really he's not it at the end of the day. Virius walks into the trap, but the payload pushes on regardless, and as Bear gets the first kill onto Caver, it's going to be brought back into the fight. No harm, no foul for him there. You know, get it foul, haha, birds. Very funny. Good time though. Brings K-Bird back down to earth with a well-placed headshot kill, but Foiler there with 2. This could be what they need to turn this back in favor of the Havoc. He's in their back line, wreaking havoc, and he's just gonna pick up 3 and send him back right away. Foiler foiling the plans to Reignited.
Yeah, I love that. The DPS is working in tandem. Junkrat, you could totally rotate a whole team with Junkrat just because nobody wants to get hit by those bombs, and that just gives Notorious room to pick off all the people who are outside the shield.
You see, what was funny enough is that even though they had the first pick with Bear, on this Pharah, they just ignore. They're like, alright, ignore Bear, and just win the ground. And then they can't do it. Valkyrie's popped in the backline for Robo Dude here. He's keeping his team alive, but they're ceding a lot of ground here. Bryce T, aggressive diva in the backline, finds Bubble T in there. Another concussion on the point by Big Head and Virius here. So they've got to be careful. You know, don't want to get injured here. But Virius does take down Big Head, but we got Bryce T popping off here. Finds Vampiric as well. And then Virius, Bryce T, calm down, my guy. Bear as well, aerial dogfight. Let's go, Bryce T. My goodness gracious. He takes down Goo Time as well with the help of Notorious, and Bryce T.
Man.
Whew. Calm down, dude. Goodness gracious. He's on fire right now. He just doused the Reignited.
Yeah, I was a little afraid at first because I was thinking in my head that putting Bryce T onto that pharmacy comp, because that's the only really thing you have to counter that Pharah right now, is to put your diva to go into the sky. I was afraid that just that taking a tank off the point, as Bear gets a nice pick on the Notorious as he comes right back with the res. But I was afraid that putting Bryce T into the air, that might just take away a tank from the fight, but Bryce T's popping off here.
It works out in the end, and he's got the bomb here. He could use it to take out the farmers. He's surgical precision strike here in the air with that there, but Big Head, they're not going to need it this fight as he finds Bubble T and Virius right away, but there's a barrage by Bear. This could be what they need. Bryce T flies up, but it's too little too late. Bryce T is going to get D-Mech, he's going to pop the bomb just to get back in it right away. Bear barely ducks behind that sign. He needs to get out right now, though. He should not be on this point. He can't get kills. Oh, speaking of, maybe he can get kills. He finds Spoiler, and he's so low HP up here, but if Bubble T can come back, it's just Big Head on the point, so Reignited might be able to get some momentum going here. Robo Dude flies back into the fight from Big Head, and you've got the Valkyrie there, and Robo Dude's taken out right away by a fire strike from Virius. Oh, a tackle from Virius. Excuse me. Shatter in the back, that's a big one, but no DPS there. Capitalize off of that bomb in the air from Vampiric. It's on the bridge, so it's not gonna find the kills that they need. Foiler, however, in the backline takes down Virius, but again, too little, too late. So Reignited finally gaining some momentum on this Route 66.
Yeah, that was a very odd fight. Both teams pretty much had to reset at the same time. So when they were both coming into it, it was 2 fresh teams going at it.
And Bear was the reason, you know, because he had that aerial damage. The grounded Reinhardt couldn't do anything against that. So they're moving back out here. Robodude's got another Valkyrie, and he's gonna use it right away. A bit proactively, he's predicting something big, and you know, of course, Goo Time has got that Death Blossom, so that could be what he's looking to counteract very early on. But they're just gonna let this time out here. No damage boost, however. I want to see you damage boost some, Robodude. Come on, your team could use it, especially in Notorious there. He's a big kill with Vampiric. Bear, however, there's a bomb right in the middle. Goo Time in the backline. He's gonna find K-Birds right away. He gets stunned. However, so he's gonna back out here. You see, they switched over now. Foiler is back on this McCree, so they're looking for some more long-range damage here.
Yeah, some kind of I wouldn't say anti-dive because they're not diving.
Anti-air.
Yeah, exactly, anti-air.
They've got the Flak Cannon of Foiler to take down the Far Mercy combo. And they've got Valkyrie, they've got Barrage, and they've got Shatter as well. So do you think we're going to see a combo from Reignited, or what do you think?
Yeah, I still could see the combos coming out. It just all comes down to Reignited trying to dive onto Foiler, because Foiler's going to be looking up into the sky and trying to find that pharmacy, and you want your pharmacy to be alive.
Exactly, and Various, he's got to make this Shatter big. It's got to be a huge slam on the ground. But Foiler rolls over onto the side here. He's going to duck around the corner and try to go for a stun. Various, though, is going to fall right away. Bubble Tea's there with the res. Cancels the res, actually. What? Second thoughts, apparently, as he's going to go over and heal Bear instead. Speaking of Shatters, Big Head makes his work. He's going to get the D-Mech onto Vampiric right away. Because there no backs out. There's a Dragon Strike, but it was a bit too late there, so it's not going to find anyone. Big Head still blocking the rest of the team here. Barrage, though, barely gets past his shield, and that's 3 right there. Bear goes off. Right? Oh my goodness, there's 3 kills. Plays dirty right there. Clean your keyboard, my guy. Just sneaks one right past the shield of Big Head, and with 3 kills, that's going to turn this fight in favor of Reignited, so more momentum.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd play coming out of Reignited. It looks like they clearly practiced that pharmacy comp on Route 66, but it doesn't seem like the rest of the team really works around it, but it's working so far.
They're very independent, is how I would describe it. They're a pharmacy duo that don't need the team to support them. Speaking of support, we've got a lot of ults coming out here. Coalescence from Azura, and there was a Shatter as well on the point. Didn't find much in the way of kills, however. Various forced to do it himself, you know. If you want something done, Various says, do it yourself. So he's just going to get out there swinging, batting 1,000 out here, and he's going to take down most of the Havoc and leaves the rest of this team for them to finish off.
Yeah, and this is why getting that first point is so important. To getting it quickly is so important, because that time bank really doesn't matter for the second point. It's all about that third point. They're coming to this third point. They only have 1.5 minutes, so it might be a little rough coming here.
It is gonna be fairly rough for sure, because Route 66 last point is pretty easily defended against. It's very defender-sided with the spawn advantage that they have.
Yep, exactly. As the fight's gonna start out here, we're just kind of getting some brawlers going in there.
Yeah, just the patty cake between the team, the shield war, as I call it. You know, Various though with a charge of the K-Birds, who made the switch over to the Brigitte. You got Bryce T applying some pressure onto the side here, onto Bubble T. Denies the res with some well-placed CC there. Bryce T's got to be careful because he's off to the side. He's going to get deep back, however. Off to the side. There's a High Noon as well from Foiler. He's going to use it to reset his ammo. However, it didn't seem like he got anything out of that. But with a Shatter there onto the point, that's going to knock down everyone, including Bear. Brings him out of the sky. So this is their chance here to make something work out of it. But with Bryce T down and no bomb, they have no combo with it. So they're just going to stagnate the push for now. Push them back just a little bit. But the Reignited are going to quickly regroup here.
Yeah, if you're not worried at all if you're Reignited. You have 6 ults coming into this fight, so this could be a big fight.
Goodness gracious, 6 ults. I mean, really, you don't need anything. Oh, Goo Time blows it. Teleports right into the face of Notorious there, who's going to attack Visor right after the double kill from Bear. Let's see what he can do to make it work. There's going to be a self-destruct here coming out from Vampiric in the backline, looking for something. It's going to find Notorious right away. DPS down, Big Head and K-Bird equals one dude on the point. They're going to be swinging back and forth, trying to make something work. Desert is found early on Vampiric with Team Max now. Launched up into the air, and with due time he teleports onto the point. It's time for him to do something, and with a Death Blossom, that's not gonna find anyone. Doesn't seem like he's gonna do that. He charges in, but just gets knocked down. A huge Shatter, but it's too late. I'm sorry, Various. I know you wanted that there. So the Reignited almost make it to the end, but they're gonna be stalled out just at the end.
Yeah, so close, and you know what?
Yeah, it's so close.
I feel
so
like
far.
I feel like you should. I feel like if you're reignited, you should just try to use all 6 ult as that fight started. They only used 3 of the ults, and then like as you saw at the end, we were just kind of panicking, like, using the last 3. They thought the fight might last longer than it actually did. But I think engaging that fight, you just try to use a lot more ults than 3.
And you know they brought out hit scan to deal with Bear, but the hit scan weren't really doing much in order to deal with Bear. So I honestly would have kept with the comp that they were running at the start, because it seemed that if they just ignore the Pharah and focus on winning the ground war, then they would have a much better time. And that's how they won the early first few fights. Is they just let him do his thing up top. Supports will heal up the rest of the team if they take some rocket damage, but really he's just a fly. You know, he's going around there a little annoying maybe. Trying to swat him every now and then. You can't hit him, you know, but you take care of the ant infestation that's at your feet. That's what you want to deal with, right? That's what matters.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much what the Havoc did in the first few fights, and it paid off for them. So making the switch was, I think, one of the main reasons why they lost that fight.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And you know what? We have Havoc coming out here with the dive, the Diva, Winston, Mercy. Zen is also in there as well, but I'm kind of excited to see that, because Reignited's gonna set up on this roof right here, and if Havoc dives on them, it could be a quick fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a quick one for sure. I'm gonna have to make sure I'm all juiced up here, ready to speak as fast as possible. Did some warm up training. Did Rap God before the game, so you know, 220 words per minute. Oh, I got that easy peasy. You know what I'm saying? I did not actually practice with Rap God before the game. But... Anyways, they have this dive comp that they're going with here, and Bryce T is gonna fly off, get some early intel. So he knows, and he's letting his team relay the information. You know, watch out. They're on the top, but Furious drops down. The rest of the team drops down. This is a surprise, actually. Bryce T almost gets punched over the edge. So this is interesting, their approach here. They don't want to hold on top, and G-Time's going to fall early on. Furious charges in, he's going to get stunned by Foiler, and then finished off by the Stormers of Notorious. So this fight is going to go quickly in the hands of the Reignited, as, oh no, if they have it. As Bubble T gets the DMAC onto Bryce T, he does find 1 kill onto him, though, with the Bunny Blaster, but it's not enough, and they're just gonna retreat here. Bear running away.
I mean, wow, look at the power of the dive. As Good Time is gonna take off the Winston, so that might be a good pull.
That, you know, they baited him around the corner there. They were not running away. It was calculated, you see, and Dragon Strike as well comes out. Bear retreated, but Good Time was there instead. Bear, speaking of Bear, comes out only to get knocked out by the Storm Arrow right away, but Furious knocks out 2 in Robo-Dude and Notorious, so they're gonna hold for now Reignited, and they did give up a lot of space, so now they can't reset on top of the gas station. They have to stay at the payload.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Not the best positioning.
I think Foiler is still on. Started the map on that McCree because that residual effect of the Pharah last time. So maybe they brought that out to counter that Pharah. But he's staying on it. If he thinks it's gonna work, then hey, run with it.
Might want to get closer to that high noon. He's of course 80% in this fight. You got Bryce T though on top. He's low. He's gonna use the deep bomb. No, he's not gonna opt for it. But they are gonna opt for a Dragon Strike. It goes into the ground, so it's not gonna find a whole lot of kills. Does damage Bubble T to the point where he can be finished off by the boost and punching them right away. Vampiric there. With the Death Blossom in the air, the Angel, the Vampire turns Angel here, but there, Foiler went for the high noon on the side, but Q-Time just shuts him down, shows him that it is not high noon, it is in fact 11:59. His clock was just a minute too early, so Q-Time puts him in his place, shows him how it's done, and they're gonna hold them again. Reignited, push back the Havoc.
Yeah, well, I'm pleasantly surprised. I had no idea how they were able to hold it. It just came down to the DPS popping up, holding their own.
Yeah, and Big Head went for something at the start, and they had the early initial kill into Bubble Tea, but the counter grab by Hazerton is what shut them down, put them all where they could shoot them, and then they focused down their targets there, which was good. And K-Bird switches over to the Vegeta with no shield there. Good focus down onto the shield of Big Head. So he's going to be swinging left and right here, trying to make something work, and Foiler's going to be the first to fall. Notorious quickly follows suit, so with both DPS down, the Reignited are again in favor here, but Various falls down on the point. K-Bird's there, puts on Vegeta, puts the Master in his place there, and due time, trying to take out K-Birds here. They got the rest of the team there, and he's actually going to end up falling to Bear. So the Havoc are just getting stalled out. They can't put the pedal to the metal here and get some momentum.
Yeah, and I honestly, I would have called it. I would have called Reignited, was able to hold that one. Havoc went in there with no ults at all. Now they're close to some of them. They're close to Primal Rage. They have Rally and they have Valkyrie pretty much. They went in there when everybody was around 30% on their ults, so it was just going to be a hard thing to do.
It was a drive push. Like, we're trying to build some ultimates, and they're trying to make everything work for this fight. Cabers with an early rally. He's going to go in right away, and they're built up to that Valkyrie, so he's going to use it right away. You got Notorious switching over to Doomfist in their backline, trying to make something work. He's got some shields to deal with, and there he's going to Crater Bubble Tea right away. That's an OHKO right here for Doomfist, as he's going to be swinging back and forth on the point. Boiler finds the headshot kill on Furious. Bubble Tea brought back into the fight. He's got his chance for a second round against Vegeta. He's going to end up losing that as Notorious comes over to finish him off once more. So it's OT ticking down, and the Havoc are going to be able to push back the Reignited by the skin of their teeth.
And just think about that. They were 4 meters away with 3 minutes remaining because that first dive was just so well executed, and they worked out pretty much everything except for that final fight. And Reignited was able to hold it for 3 whole minutes. And look, Goo Time is up there, maybe trying to get a cheeky Q in there.
Yeah, he's got ultimate. His team probably had to rein him back in. You know, he's very eager to get in there and get some. Speaking of eager, Notorious goes in, slam jam up top to try and get something done. But Various says, no you don't, and tackles him right to the wall. And speaking of in the wall, that's a Dragon Surge combo right there to take out the entire team. So, Havoc, they had something going, but Reignited just throws it in their face again with that Dragon Surge combo, which is that's just the meta right now. It's hey, Zarya, you got grab? Yep, alright, I got Dragon Strike. Okay, we win the game then.
Yeah, and I like that. I really think the comms are on point on the Reignited side right now. I mean, they had 2 ults to use with that Surge. You could have used Death Blossom, and the Goo Time was up in there. He could have easily pressed Q if the comms were bad. It could have been a Dragon as a High Noon comes out. Oh,
that's gonna find Vampiric right away. Yeah, you know, Goo Time has the Death Blossom here, so can he make something work with it is gonna be the question. Look at this, hiding the top. Sneaky Reaper, I like it, but Notorious flushes him out with a Sonic Arrow. Bear, though, is gonna find Boiler, and here we go. Goo Time's time to shine. Goes in the backline with the Shatter, is gonna find Cabers right away. Big Head goes down as well. So is the Death Blossom. It's gonna take 2 targets right away. And again, the Reignited just burning off this time that the Havoc have. And Boiler is now going to switch over to the Junkrat for some of that spam damage that they want.
Man, that was a caster's dream right there. I mean, first they combined the Surge and the Dragon, and then they combined the Shatter with the Beyblade ult. I mean, man, that's just perfect execution, clear comms. I mean, if you're in a comp game, probably Dragon and Reaper's ult use the same time.
Yeah, you know, Goo Time, they said, let it rip. You know, he goes in, he's going to find 2 right away with that Beyblade. What do we call that? The Shatter plus the Beyblade? I don't know. we'll have to brainstorm that up later. But anyways, these teams are going to be fighting right away. Desert is about 50% on the grab, but Bryce T's got his own to work with. Cabers and Notorious fall right away. Bryce T has to make a big grab here. He's got to make something work. Can he do it, though, is the question. Will he deliver? He's going to be backing out of the fight, actually, and he gets the bubble knocked on back onto the point by Furious there. Furious charges back to the point. He with his team here in perhaps what could be the final moments of the fight, but there, Boiler with a tire. He's looking to get something done. He's driving it around the point. He finds Bubble Tea. That could be the pick they need on the support to win this fight. Bubble Tea brought back into the fight, however, by Vampiric, so that's going to be a wasted ultimate from Boiler. Furious there with a charge up top. Boiler, though, gets another kill into Bubble Tea, brings him down once more, and as Notorious finds Furious, the Havoc are finally pressing down the pedal here on Route 66. They're trying to get something done. Vampiric caught around the corner. Here's the Graviton Tertiary Hazard, and then there the Dragon Surge combo comes out once again. That's gonna find 2 there. Bear finds all of the team, basically Caber, Spoiler, and Big Head all going down. Notorious finds 1 counter pick onto Bear. Big Head brought back into the fight, but as Goo Time takes out Bryce T, who still has the grab. He didn't use it there. It's just these tanks on the point along with Notorious. Can he pop off in time is the question, as Robo is trying to keep this team alive. He's half HP, but there, Goo Time with a Death Blossom on the point to seal the deal. The final nail in the coffin, and Reignited are going to win this, bringing it to a 1-1.
Oh man, I mean, what more could you ask for from Overwatch? We have 2 great teams going at it as we get the Moira playing here. It would probably be a Coalescence. Yep, there it is. Ooh, combined with that Shatter.
That's a lot of damage. That's just piercing right through the team, basically.
Yeah, that's just two well executed teams. As oh my goodness, 17,000 healings from Robo Dude,
Ooh,
and they still didn't win. I mean, man, that's just two good teams going
big
back to
numbers.
back. Yeah. Oh,
Speaking of big numbers, Big Head again, 25,000 damage, and that's probably around twice the number of tracers, from last map that he's blocking. So that is some good play here from both these teams. Robo Dude and I can't remember his name. Big Head, that's who it
yes.
is. Robo Dude and Big Head are doing their best on their roles, and they're playing them correctly. It's just up to the rest of the team to capitalize off of that. And Notorious, of course, I think they might be relying on Notorious too much in terms of letting the rest of the team pop off. What do you think, Pulse?
I think both teams should be proud of what they're doing right now, but there is room to improvement here and there. It took Havoc so long to switch up their comp and to adjust. Like we said, they ran their heads into a wall all the way till it got to overtime, and that's when they decided to switch to that Junkrat Doomfist kind of weird comps that'll push the cart forward as much as they can. But
Wacky.
I mean, yeah, it was wacky. It was nutty. But man, it's just I don't know why they don't adjust earlier. If I say my rule is that if you have 4 minutes on the clock, run it as much as you can, and if it doesn't work after 2 minutes, switch. Just there's no point. If it doesn't work after 2 minutes, it's not going to work after 4 minutes. And I'm promising you this, like, especially if you switch to like a panic comp and it's overtime, you're like, okay, we need to get people there fast, so just switch to high mobility, Junkrat, Doomfist, run that in there, and then it works. I mean, that should be a huge clue to you guys. Like maybe adjust a little sooner than overtime.
And I think what the teams, I guess, in this low kind of elo-ish, these aren't masters teams, of course, but they are still trying to do some of the more higher level plays.
Right.
So I think they need to switch earlier on in this fight is what it is they try to stick too much to one comp that they're trying to work. They want to build towards that, of course, and then they don't adjust in time is what it is. And if they do adjust, then it's maybe not the right adjustment that you make, and that just shows in just I guess a flawed game sense in a way, right?
Yeah, and I think both these teams very close in mechanical skill. I mean, Notorious and Foiler have potential to pop off just as much as Bear does. I mean, like it's easily you could pick highlights from the two maps we played so far and just switch them back and forth. And you know what I'm excited for is that these two teams are so close. We might go to a map 5. I mean, like that's just what I'm excited to see. To be honest.
It's 1-1 right now, so really anything could happen. It's just the beginning, for these teams. And we're now gonna be moving on. Skya Industries. This is a fan favorite. We see Skya all the time, and it's for a reason. And Pulse, what do you think is that reason? Why do teams love this Russian wasteland so much? Not a wasteland.
I mean, it's Overwatch in its purest form. A lot of the fights come down to like comps, like skill and communication, but sometimes it comes down to mechanics, and there's a lot of carry potential in this map. I think
there is a lot of carry potential, especially with the stalls. And especially Lucio, and we're gonna pause real quick as one of the players in the bathroom. My bad. Started the game before it was in there, so we're just waiting for Goo Time to get back. So that's on me. But anyways, yeah, Volskaya, it's a really fun map. I do like this map a whole lot. Both aesthetically and as a map. Last time Pulse, I know what you like. You do like these maps with these choke points. And it's that are hard to break through, and you can just set up teams and block them off. The iron wall basically, and it's hard to get through. And that's pretty much what Volskaya enables with this choke point. With the truck as well. You got half of that carried, or half of the choke point really covered for you, and they only really have one option in terms of where they're gonna push.
Yeah, I love it. It just makes teams think, and I like it when we get the big brains coming out of each side of the teams. Overwatch is a game of adjustments. I mean, that's it. It just comes down to its purest form of Overwatch is the game of adjustments, and you can't really just. It's not like a lot of other shooters out there where everybody kind of is just a dude with a gun. You know, like this is different. Heroes have their own unique styles and plays and what they could do to support the team, and I mean, like I just love it. I love these teams because like there's so many comps you could run against each other. You just as a defense team you have to guess a lot about like what's going to come at you. Maybe like the meta, as we say, it meta a lot. Like we'll skew that. Like I'd say a couple patches back, dive was like the meta. That was the thing to do. Maybe not so much now. It's still a really strong thing, and as we see it in this match, it could be executed well. But dive was like the main thing to run at you, and dive. I mean, like I love dive because all the parts of the team have to be moving. The tanks have their own thing to learn. The supports have their own thing to learn. The DPS have their own thing to learn. And a dive, dive takes coordination. It takes time to practice. And no matter what role you're on, it's different for each person. Tanks, you're trying to get in there fast. When you usually think of a tank hero, you're not really thinking like how getting in there fast. What you're supposed to just be like the shield who could take hits for your team. It's like no. On a dive, you're supposed to get in there, create space for your DPS, make the team confused because it's just 4 people coming straight at them. And I love it. I love how Overwatch just has so many comps that you can throw at each other, and it's like I said, a game of adjustments.
Yeah, and a bit of an unpopular opinion. I like dive. I think dive's fun, honestly, because it comes down to a lot of communications between the team. Like you were saying, Pulse, and I'm gonna agree with you on most parts, and that dive is takes a lot of skill to run, and that's why you don't see it succeed as much in the lower ranks, right? So. But these teams have shown that they're perfectly capable of running dive. Big Head and Bryce T on that first control map, where I think dive is most prevalent and most useful, honestly, on those control maps where there's no spawn advantage or anything like that. So getting those early picks is super important, and it works on pretty much any game mode. But those are the ones where it's going to excel. And on 2CP maps like this, I like to see comps that the Reignited are running right now that are just more slow pushers, slow burners, if you will, from the Reignited, and that they just slowly push in, slowly do damage like a parasite, work its way slowly in through the choke, and all of a sudden come out, and then next thing you know, you're in the hospital and looking at your medical bill like, what on earth? Like a parasite costs this much money,
Yeah, and Ryan D.Va on paper, maybe a lot of people are just against that, but I think D.Va is Bryce T's more comfortable hero. I mean, if you saw him on Zarya, he just didn't seem like himself. He's still a good Zarya, but just not. I think he's way better on D.Va.
And that's definitely what you want to do. Is if you're not comfortable running the meta, don't force it. That's all you gotta do. Bear goes down early on to Notorious, and Furious goes for a charge into the side room. Not gonna find anything. Bear's gonna be brought back into the fight. Mine goes up top, knocks through time up into the air. He decides it's time for him to back out, but Furious decides it's time for him to go in. And he's just gonna get stunned and fire struck right back, so Reignited forced to back out here.
Yeah, that maybe might have been a little miscommunication. He was still in there while his whole team was pulling back. So just to finish up a conversation we were having earlier, I mean, the meta, a lot of people think that that's like the way to play Overwatch. No, the meta is just a strategy that works often in this patch, like it's not the thing you always have to run, So if he's more comfortable on D.Va, then run it. Yeah,
and the meta varies in game by game, really, is what it but it varies there with an early charge. We'll have to save that thought for later here, as we got a tire from Notorious. He's looking for something big, Notorious BIG, and he's gonna find Goo Time to start this off right away. And with Goo Time down, he made the switch over to the Doomfist, and that's a good shatter right there onto Furious as well. Huge slam. The slam jam, if you will, and the rest of the team wasn't feeling what he was throwing down, so they're not going to be there for the follow-up, and Big Head's going to be backing out. And speaking of, look at Foiler, walking back from spawn on this Brigitte, like the switch, using that stun. Or no, not the switch, he's been running Brigitte this whole time, but he's switching from DPS to this Brigitte, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, Reignited is taking my advice a little more than Havoc is. They switch Bear to that. Ooh, big grab.
That's gonna be a graviton surge, but K-Birds there is gonna be with the Transcendence to counteract it, and there's a bomb from Bryce T as well in the backline. It's gonna find Ruin. No, he's gonna Transcendence just in time. And this could be what they need with the sustain. This 100 HP per second for Ruin there, and there's a shatter as well. Robo Dude and Big Head on the ground, forced to be taken down. And there you got Time in the face of Big Head. As they're just capping at this point, they're just letting him 1v1. Notorious here again, looking for something in the back, and he's gonna deliver with a kill into Ruin. I don't think it's gonna be enough to ruin the chances that the Reignited already have on this point, and Ruin brought back into the fight. So Notorious, he tried but did not succeed.
Yeah, great push, great coordination from them. And as I was saying earlier, Reignited maybe have heard my advice more than Havoc did. They ran a comp, it didn't work the first 2 minutes. Bear switches over to the Fair, and look at that, they capture the point. So
Good Time switches over to the Doomfist as well, and
yeah.
you know, another hero that I'm pretty sure this guy is comfortable with, because he goes off on Doomfist if you give him enough space, and it's for the shock factor really. And speaking of shock factor, goes into the backline, baits out the charge from Big Head, so now he's out of position, out of the team. It's just biding his time. He's in the backline, he goes in onto Robo Dude, but he's gonna get stunned by Spoiler right away. He's in the back here, he forced to back out a little bit, punches Spoiler into the wall. He's about half HP now, so he's gotta be fairly careful in terms of that. We did see an early kill there, and there Bryce T. Capers die again. Good Time popping up once more, so Ruin takes out Robodude as well. And there, Good Time punches Notorious, gets revenge for the kill that happened, but Big Head, what a savior, Good Time out here. Listen, that's play of the game. That's play of the game. That's gotta be play of the game. That was great by Good Time. Big Head with the shatter onto Zertin, and then Good Time just blocks him. Nice try, but with Good Time there's not much you can do. This is an impressive Doomfist.
Yeah, it was great. Havoc just needed to adjust to that Pharah. I mean, they switch over to the Pharah because Reignited sees that, oh, they don't really have an answer if we run Pharah. They don't really have a good hit scan on their team right now, so let's run Pharah against them. And if they don't adjust, then hey, we can capture the point. And look at that, 4 minutes and 13 seconds. That's more than the game gives you. The game gives you 4 minutes when you start, and they have more time than that. So even if Havoc is able to capture both points, I mean, the advantage definitely swings Reignited's way.
They went to the bank, you know, and they said, all right, we got about 4 minutes here, and the bank's like, all right, we'll give you 1% or some interest, whatever, right on it. And then they finished out the play, and look at that, 13 seconds of profit. That's what I call a win in my book, you know.
Mm-hmm. And if you go to that second round where both teams capture both points, I mean, a lot of people will say it's good if you get 2 minutes. I mean, these guys have great time, and it's gonna be on Havoc to try to match that performance.
Yeah, they were very, very strong. You know, they didn't get the momentum going with their first few pushes, and then, like you said, Pulse Bear adjusted, switched to the Pharah, and then with no hit scan from the Havoc, they just kind of sweeped on right through him. He's gonna be running this Pharah again on the defense, but this time, now we see the Havoc have learned from their mistakes. They're gonna put Foiler on this McCree for the anti-air. So it's gonna come down to that air battle. Who could win?
Yeah, definitely. And Bear has 2 tanks to combine their ult with, so Bear just has a lot of potential to pop out during this match.
Yeah, Graviton Surge, of course, with the Barrage combos so well, and you've got the Earth Shatter as well. So a lot of combo potential for ultimates here. You're gonna start out the fight. Not much going on. Junkrat spam comes out early on, pressures the shield. The Big Head, lots of explosive damage from this comp. Look at that, his shield is cracking under the pressure already. It's up to him to not crack, the rest of his team to not crack under the pressure, however. His Big Head's gonna now, the shield goes down fully, so they're just waiting around the corner here. No one's really pushing in so far yet. And Various takes advantage of that. He gets the bubble from Azure now, so he's gonna move in just a little bit, but Big Head there punishes Azure for his mistakes. He says, you're a little bit too far forward, why don't you take a seat? Speaking of taking a seat, Various with a tackle, he's gonna be brought into the wall. Big Head takes him down, so now with Ruin on the point, they've ignored Bear. Again, Bryce now finally applies some pressure onto the Far Mercy combo, and his Big Head picks up the kill onto Ruin, and Good Time there. Good Time does take out Foiler before he dies, but Robodude just brings him back into the fight, so really nothing too much there, and not too much of a loss. And now they have a good chance here to stagger out Bubble Tea if they can. Bryce T walks around the corner, almost doesn't notice him, but they finally do. And they've staggered the Mercy now, so they don't have that available to them. And Bear switches over to the Hanzo on this defense.
Yeah, that was great. The first 2 picks being the tanks is huge. I mean, like if you dive in and you don't have your tanks there, you're just two DPS and 2 healers. That's a team that's gonna crumble under the pressure right there.
Yeah, definitely. And they're on point B now, so they're gonna try to make something work, but they're going right down the middle. I would have preferred to go up on this high ground on the left side if you're the defense, or the right side if you're the offense, just because of the advantage that it gives you. I don't know if the teams understand that, but they're going to put a Dragon Strike right down the middle. It's going to split up the team and allow them to get on the point. Bryce T takes advantage of this, flies up top. He's going to be D-Mech covered, drops the Diva Bomb on this point. Can't get any kills from it, but he's going to be able to get back into his mech right away. Transcendence to counteract the Graviton of Azure, and they're on the point. Foiler gets the Deadeye kill onto Ruin. So, Big Head takes on Furious as well. Bubble Team brings him back into the fight, but there's a Shatter from Big Head. It's going to knock out 2. He's going to go for the suicide charge. Barely able to correct his course, but going over the edge. Bryce T shuts down the tire of Goo Time. It's not time to rip, unfortunately. So Goo Time is not going to get that. He's going to switch over to the Junkrat right away. You got Bubble Tea making the switch over to this Lucio for the stall. This is where the stall comms come out. Goo Time on this Doofus on the sidelines. They're contesting the point, but it's so close. Bear jumps on. It's just all the way on. Ruin almost so close got onto the point, but he could not fade onto it in time, and I don't even know if it would have mattered, because they just had so much time available to them, really, and so much DPS potential. So I mean, speaking of the bank,
Jeez,
look at that.
520.
520.
Man,
So they've
that
got
platinum membership card right there with the bank. They got that. They got that gold card that they have in their wallet. Man, 520.
520 compared to 413. They've got a whole minute really above these teams, and a 2CP every second matters with those stalls on the end. So the Havoc are currently at an advantage here if they can make use of this time bag to the best of their ability. But the Reignited have a chance as well to pop off if they can. They've got to rely on Goo Time and Bear, their DPS duo, in order to shine like the stars that they are and get the kills that they need in order to push in on this point.
Yeah, definitely. And look, honestly, I'm gonna be so surprised if this doesn't go to a map 5. I mean, look at this. These 2 teams are going back and forth. A little bit ago, we were praising Reignited for getting that 413. We were saying, man, that's more than the game gives you. That was well executed. They have clear comms. And then Havoc just comes in and shows, like, hey, we're a good team too. So, like, he wants a little bit of love. And you know what? They deserve a little bit of love.
They do. And they say, don't sleep on us. We could pop off too. And that's what Goo Time and Bear are going to be trying to do here. And I'm sure Foiler and Notorious as well. And Foiler dives in. Goo Time, though, he tries to take advantage of it, but he was able to dodge out of the punch just in time. Some boxing match stuff right here. He's going to get the first kill into Ruin there, so that's going to shut down the supports right away. If they can't block Bubble Tea in time, he's going to be able to get the res. Bryce T dives in. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get D-Mac, though. He's low, but he's able to find the healing from Robo Dude.
Oh, Foiler.
Yep, Foiler. Come on. Stick with your head there, you know? Yep. He's res back into the fight, so he's got a second chance. Hopefully he's not gonna make that same mistake again. Goo Time tries to land a punch, but he's not gonna get it, so he's forced it back out right away. He just skedaddles on out of there, and he cannot skedaddle out of the way of the micro missiles, along with the fire strike. Lots of burst damage there that came out, and Reignited, they put it back out, clear their heads a little bit, they find the matches, start up this fire once more, try to make this push work.
Yeah, Havoc, they definitely figure out that, okay, well, if Pharmacy worked for them last time, then we're going to be a little bit more prepared for that. And they switch over to that McCree, and Pharmacy clearly isn't working as well as they used to.
Does not seem like it. They don't make the Pharmacy duos like they used to, you know what I'm saying? They finally figured out how to counter as Notorious takes out Goo Time, and they're shutting down Goo Time too, which is what I like. They've realized that if he goes unchecked, oh, but the Graviton Surge on the point, that's going to be big. Is there going to be enough follow-up? However, good time's there. He almost got the slam, so they could have gone for a Space Jam, but they're not going to be able to get it in time as Spoiler shuts down the barrage there, fair. But Furious gets a charge into Notorious in the backline, and good time does find the slam eventually onto Robo-Dude, as Furious gets the Fire Strike onto Big Head. And Spoiler tries to get something done, and it does take out Ruin, but look at him, he's backed into a corner, and really had nothing left to work with, so he's just gonna die, and Ruin's gonna be brought back into the fight. So with 2 minutes 25 on the clock, the Reignited seems like they've gotten their fire lit again, and they're making some headway.
Yeah, and I think Zarya Doom just has to combine a little bit more. Every time you see Doom in there, if you're Zarya, just throw the shield on him. Honestly,
Yeah.
that little extra, that was little couple seconds where he's invincible, just that gives him potential to pop off.
I saw that tire. Don't pretend like you. Don't pretend. Don't try to play that off cool. He tried to go up for a nice little side flank, but he couldn't get it over the wall. But Shadow comes out from Furious. It's gonna be blocked right away. But you can't block the Coalescence. Speaking of can't block, he can't block the High Noon. He's gonna find Ruin right away. But Hazard in there is gonna be able to take down Foiler, and Notorious does find that counter pick. Avenges his fallen brother, his DPS friend. And Notorious in the backline here. Furious charges in, goes a little bit deep, but they've got the contest on the point for Bryce T if they need it. So he's free to do so in there. Charge on the point, can't stop Big Head. He's gonna charge right on through that Graviton Surge. He's gonna be swinging his hammer back and forth. Foiler takes down Bear. With aerial superiority now, that fight is lost. And Bryce T gets the exit kill onto his Zert in there as he was trying to back out of the fight. The Reignited, seems that the Bryce T is just too much. They're dousing. It's just dousing these members. You know, it's a little unconventional. Might want to use water in some more normal circumstances, but this is no normal circumstance. This is Overwatch, and hey, if you can put out the fire with Ice T or with Bryce T, whatever works.
Yeah, and if Bryce T is more comfortable running Diva, either let someone else run Zarya or just work with that, because Bryce T, look at the potential to pop off on Diva.
And slam possibly in the backline. K-Bird's there with the Transcendence to counteract that, however. So he comes back on the point, swinging back and forth, trying to make something work. And there, double Bear goes for the barrage on the backline. K-Bird's is found right away, so they only have a heal in Robo-Dude. I guess has some heals there, but it's really just a lot of burst with that armor. K-Bird's brought back into the fight, so they've got now all their supports, all their eggs in a row. Can they make it work? Furious is going to try to make it work for the Reignited with a Shatter on this point. He's going to take down Robo-Dude with a charge there. Surgical precision there to take out that Mercy. But Bryce T is going to take him down once more. As they're finishing off the rest of the team, it's just Big Head on the point with Bryce T left. The Baby Diva, the zero suit, zero heals, zero sustain, and he's going to fall right away. So this point is now Robo-Dude. No. Furious is watching. He's always on the lookout for some mercies there, some juicy targets, and he's gonna charge you right into the wall the second you try to go for anything there. So they're stalling once more on the point. Here you got Big Head with a huge shatter. That could be exactly what they need with a big slam there. The fatty shatty. It's not enough. Bubble Tea is found early on, so with no mercy, this could be what they need to open this up back in their favor with another barrage coming up from Bear and a double kill right before that. Coalescence as well on the point. Bryce T is the Baby Diva once again alone on the point with Robo-Dude. And he's the only DPS really with the slam coming back out again from Good Time. He's built this up in about 30 seconds. So impressive. He's going to take out the counter Doomfist of Notorious, proving who's dominant in this Doomfist fight. And his Spoiler's the only one left on the point to die. K-Birds fades onto the point, but it's not enough. And they are going to barely cap this out. So it's a 2-4 with 0 seconds left on the clock. This has been an intense Bull Sky Industries. Some of the best we've seen in OWC, in my opinion. This is some good stuff right here.
Yeah, this is just two teams that are so close in skill going at it, and you could tell the strengths from each team. You could tell that, you know, Bryce T is great diva on the side of the Havoc, and they have great potential to shut down a dive, and they know how to. They know when to move in when they need to, but like, you know, you could also see their weaknesses. Sometimes if the comp isn't working, they'll just keep running it at it until they need to adjust. And you could do the same thing for Reignited. You could name the strengths and the weaknesses all you want. It's just two good teams going at it, and man, this is some of the best Overwatch I've ever been able to cast.
Yeah, it's a blast so far. It's been a blast to cast this, so it's some good stuff. This is what I want, you know, those those frantic, hectic last point 2 CP stall fights that just that is when you bust out 220 words per minute, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So the Reignited are gonna come back out here on the defense now, so they've got 5 minutes 20 seconds in order to try and defend against the Havoc's relentless pushes here, and they're still running the mirror comps, and you know, as Havoc seem like they've figured out the puzzle pieces. the Reignited showing maybe you really haven't figured it out all yet, as Spoiler's gonna fall right away very early on in that fight, so it's gonna be Rez back, brought into the fight once more for a second shot. So that's really gonna describe this push here, and they've got to regroup. Various stunned too far forward, and that's gonna be the end of him. Goo Time, speaking of too far forward, he's gonna be taken down right away. He went for a lot of CC, tried to make space, but it wasn't enough. But Bryce T is gonna fall there. Big Head charges out to the point. He's very far back here, actually. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing, but you got Notorious here coming around the back line with Bryce D as well. And Capers is going to fall, however, on the point. There's a charge, though, onto Azur, and quick bat to the face is going to finish him off. Big Head here going off so far with some charges. Ruin is really left to stay in his face. Big Head with a bubble there. You can see the coverage from Bryce D so far, and there he's built the Shatter up so quickly. And speaking of ultimates being built quickly, Bear with the barrage finds Big Head right away. Bubble T though with the Valkyrie is gonna res it back into the fight. Foiler finds the kill into Goo Time after finishing off Bear in the air. And it's Bryce T, Foiler, and the Mercies on this point. The Moths up in the air trying to keep their teams alive, and K-Bird takes down Various on the point. Ruin there is gonna fall to a Fan the Hammer flashbang stun combo from, and as they're all on the point, Hazurton tries to get a bit of a stall here, but it's not enough as he's gonna fall, and he's got no team with him, so they're just trying to wear down the time by just a little bit. But Goo Time here, this could be what they need. He's gonna die to Notorious. So Bear's got to back out now. He's about half HP, so he's got to be really careful. He's going to find the healing just in time. So the Havoc are going to push through after regrouping. So they've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to take B. Do you think they'll be able to do it, Pulse?
Oh, definitely. I think they might even win it right here with that little extra time. And I love how Bear is still running Pharah, even though Foiler switched over to McCree. It's a little disrespect. it's kind of like, yeah, I don't care if you're a hit scan, I'm still gonna run it, and you still just aren't able to hit me. So
yeah, he's been doing a good job dodging the shots. It's not necessarily all that. Oh, Foiler, terrible defense, garbage, can't hit the Pharah, but with a Dragon Tooth combo right here, Notorious and Bryce T making it work, but he was a little bit too far back, so it's not gonna get all the damage that they need with the full combo. The two halves of Exodia weren't together in perfect harmony there. His Spoiler's gonna go down right away. You got Notorious with a counter pick, and there's a fatty shatty, if I've ever seen one there, to take out the entire team. Goodness gracious, Big Head. That was a big one for sure. And it's just Goo Time left on the point, and it is his time to fall. So with 2 minutes 45, looks like they're gonna be able to take this point if they can't get someone on it right now. Bubble Tea flies out, but he's just gonna get shot down by Foiler. Deadeye any time of day, he makes it work. It's Foiler, everybody. And you got Big Head with a charge into Furious in the backline. It's Bear as well on the point. He gets the Helix Rocket, a Robo Dude, so that's no mercy on the point. Big Head's actually gonna be down, so that they are gonna win that out. Look at that, 99. That's gotta be 99.9%. That was some crazy stuff right there. That was a 2 CP stall for the ages. Oh, goodness gracious.
Man, what a hold. I am so impressed with Reignited, like,
in shock. Man, I'm shook. That was some good stuff.
I'm sorry, people. I'm just a little dumbfounded. I can't even call it cast right now.
We're speechless. We can't cast. That was so impressive by the Reignited in order to come back. You might say 2 CP lull, but it's hard to come back from that stall and not only just stall it out but win the fight. Actually, that's what's so impressive from these teams. They're back on the point now. Notorious starts the fight off with another Dragon Strike on Tiberius. It's going to do a lot of damage. It's half HP. This is their time to capitalize. They get a charge into Ruin, so they're going to do just that. Big Head don't falls to the Tank Buster of Goo Time there. Who you going to call? The Tank Buster of Reaper here as he finds Robo Dude as well. Maybe not a tank, but a support. Reaper goes good with anything, really. And this Bear finds K-Birds, and Bryce T is going to fall to Goo Time. And Foiler, quick to quick to fall as well. Gutime adds another notch onto his belt in terms of how many double kills he's gotten. So,
Right.
with 1 minute left here, the Havoc are hard pressed to come back and try to make this work. And what they almost had, it was so close. They can't lose here.
Yo, definitely not. They need to full on push as much as they can.
They need to get in there, and they need some urgency here, because they seem to be playing a little bit slow, a bit lethargic gameplay.
Ooh, Foiler
here.
on Farah.
Waking up from a nice spring nap really is what it seems like they're doing. But yeah, you know, Foiler makes the switch over, but he's got no mercy to support him, so he's gonna go down to his Zern right away. He's now switched over from the D.Va, or onto the D.Va, from the Zarya, and their big head is able to block the self-destruct, but that means he doesn't have a shield. They're gonna back out real quick here. Just a momentary disruption, but there, Bear, with a barrage, finds the kill into big-headed Bryce T with 10 seconds left. They've got to get on the point here, but they don't have any high mobility heroes to do so. No good stall heroes either, but they're victorious with the Dragon Strike on the side. That's going to find Ruin right away. This could be what they need as Robodude now, with reinforcements come in. They've got the Valkyrie on the point. It's Notorious' game here as he finds the kill into Gears as well. Foiler up in the air with the Robodude. The Far Mercy combo is trying to stall at this point. Notorious is back and ready for the action here. I was just thinking that for a second. I think I heard a Graviton Surge come out, and there it is. Bryce T in the back. Doesn't find anything, however. It was a floater, and it's not going to find anybody. Nothing, unfortunately for him, but Foiler does find Ruin there, so with the Zenyatta down. Could be swinging in their favor, but Foiler goes up too high. And Reignited are going to clutch this out at the very end by, actually, a horse's hair. That was a crazy hold from them on defense, and K-Birds gets to play the game here. Able to get these picks, looking like a J. Joan actually over here. This is what I think it is. Yeah, takes advantage of the shatter and shuts down Barry's, just down the barrage. That's some good stuff right there. What?
Man, 30,000.
Yeah. Who's your map MVP in this one?
Man, it's so tough. There's a lot of people going at it. I mean, I would say during that final fight, it came down to just Gutime bringing out the tank, Buster with Reaper. I mean, every time Big Head likes to go off, especially because there was like kind of like a panic at the end. Gutime, or not Gutime, Big Head likes to kind of charge in there as Reinhardt and just get a squishy and slam him against the wall. But every time that happened, Gutime was there to do it. It's hard to pick MVP. I mean, man, you could say it's Bear with the Pharaoh, with the Pharmacy. I mean, even when they switched over to a McCree that hit scan, they still ran it, and it was still running pretty well. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bear actually. Bear was just a great Pharaoh. We got a lot of good barrages coming down to kind of shut down a push, and I'm just blown away by that map. What a great showing from both these teams here.
Yeah, it was good stuff, and Reignited are going to bring this in their favor now, and with a 2-1 so far, they seem to be gaining some momentum after losing the first to Havoc, so they are... If the Havoc can't come back now, then the Reignited are gonna win this next one. It's their choice for a map. It's gonna be a hybrid map, it's gonna be rather interesting. What would you like to see from these teams on a hybrid map, Pulse?
I'd say maybe switch it up just a little bit, just because these two teams are getting way too familiar about what they're running at each other. I mean, the Pharmacy was a great switch halfway through Volskaya for Reignited, and it was able to win them the map, honestly. But Havoc, I think, is just recognizing that, okay, they're going to run that Pharmacy, and it's worked a lot for them. It even worked for them on Route 66. It's hard. I'd say just adjust, try to run a different comp at each other. I mean, clearly Bryce T, I'd say try to run a comp that favors D.Va a lot, because, I mean, that last push on Volskaya, I think it came down to Bryce T because he switched over to the Zarya. And I'm not saying he was a bad Zarya. He's not in any ways a bad Zarya at all. I'm just saying he's a stronger D.Va, and especially since it's overtime, you definitely want to get more mobility in there. You maybe want to have that potential for an insta-kill big bomb in there. I mean, because like Zarya's ult it's a good ult. That's that Graviton Surge. It can bring a lot of people together, but it's not going to really win you anything in overtime if you're not combining it with anything. If you need to make a hero play, D.Va has the potential to make that hero play way more than Zarya.
Yeah, with that bomb, because you can't combo really. You can combo things with the D.Va bomb, but most of the time it's a bit of a YOLO ult. You know what I'm saying? You kind of just throw it out there and you try to make it work. If it works, hey, there you go. And you can call it calculated. Like you busted out the protractor, calculated the angles, right? Pythagorean theorem, some crazy like that. But let's be honest, it's a YOLO ult, right? You throw it in. Sometimes it gets something good, sometimes it doesn't. It's really up to that. But the potential for the hero play is there. And Zarya, as you were saying, Pulse, doesn't have that because you need that other ult to go with it. You know, I'd say the Zarya ult, the Graviton, it's like a soup. You know what I'm saying? Soup, you eat it, alright, it's good by itself. Very good, right? Good soup, nice tomato soup. But the combo ult is the grilled cheese on the side. You know, tomato soup, grilled cheese.
Definitely.
That's a good combo right there. That's what makes the meal. And you can't just have the tomato soup and you can't just have the grilled cheese, right? I mean, I guess you could, and it could be good. It'd still be a tasty meal, but you need both of them together working in a harmony. And that is
Right.
how you get the big plays, the good meal right there. And that's my analogy for combining ults with Graviton. Tomato soup, grilled cheese. You never had it? Cook that up right now. Stop watching
Yeah.
this.
Stop watching. No, don't watch. Don't stop watching. Have it in the background. No. But, yeah, honestly, in this fight, I might be a little one-sided on Havoc right now, just because I want to see him that fucking. I'm just a little biased. So,
And
big
look
hit.
at that, Foiler takes down Ruin right away. And of course the teams did switch sides in the interim, so now Havoc are in the red and you've got the Reignited in the blue. So they went from a red fire to a blue fire, hopefully burning even hotter now on this point. His big head is kind of solo on the point now. He's shielded against the bubble though. As Foiler found the pick onto K-Bird so early though, so that let them gain pretty much all this space so early on. Bear though wins the sniper duel eventually with Foiler. They had more arrows consistently, and Notorious is gonna fall as well to the Storm arrows. So actually he's gonna get broken back in the fight. Robodu says, hey, it's not your time yet. Come back. We need you for this next push here. Get Bryce T on the side, lobbing some nades in. He doesn't have a lot of charge right now. It seems maybe a tad bit from the energy, but he doesn't have a whole lot to work with. He's got 31% of the Graviton, so he's trying to build his way up towards that tomato soup.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think Bryce T, his main problem with Zarya right now is dying. Really when he gets that 100% charge, and he tries to play Zarya like he plays D.Va, aggressive, and he goes in there when he needs to, as the dive's gonna come in here.
Yeah, it's gonna begin. The fight starts with two Valkyries actually, so both the Mercies taking advantage of their aerial superiority and their Dragon Surge combo, but it's split up from the teams. You know, you saw the grab come out from Reignited, but then the Dragon Strike come out from Notorious on the side of Havoc. But it seems like it's turning in their way so far as Foiler and Notorious both together are gonna get kills to the point. K-Birds though is gonna fall, and there's another Shatter onto Ruin and Bear, and that's just gonna end that out quickly. So a lot of ultimates used if you're the Havoc here, but it seemed to work in their favor. They've just gotta be careful in the times to come that they don't end up dying here. Furious actually decides it's not time to lose this fight out yet. He's got the Shatter, he's gonna use it right away, but blocked, and Various is just gonna fall right away. So I probably would have backed out of that fight. They were trying to make something work with the Shatter, and they had the Beyblade as well to go with it. Bubble Tea goes for a res, but you know you can't get that one Bubble Tea. Silly Mercy, and he's just gonna go down as Big Head is brought back into the fight to bring this back. What do you see in terms of ultimates that the Havoc should use in their next fight, Pulse?
Definitely Havoc needs to just they have ult advantage, to be honest. Like they have a good they're about to get Dragon, so they could do that. Yeah, they could do that Dragon Surge if they need to. And it looks like they're gonna get the second point. That third point is definitely where things are gonna kind of get nitty and gritty in there. So we'll see how this goes.
Right, same thing for Route 66. It's time bank isn't really for this middle point, it's for the last point, you know?
Yep.
This middle point is definitely really not an advantage to both teams, but with that added 10 HP per second of the payload, it's more favored towards the attackers, and they're gonna start moving in here in this compressed space. I see Goo Time in the backline. I heard it. I heard it. Didn't turn around into that's a team wipe right there. Goo Time and Bear, 2 ultimates, 6 kills. That's the combo that you want to see from these teams. You see, I heard Goo Time. I heard him in the back of my headphones, and I was like, all right, where's this boy at? Where's he sneaking around? Where's he creeping? And then all of a sudden, I hear the ult, and I look at the kill feed, and 3 kills already. So, Goo Time and Bear there, amazing work. That was the pincer strategy right there.
And I can't really say that that was on purpose. I wish I could, but that Beyblade ult kind of pushed all of Havoc back, and then that dragon kind of caught all the people that were retreating. But here we go, 6 ults coming out here from Havoc.
Yeah, and with the early kill into Foiler, and their Goo Time is well found. That's gonna turn this in their favor to start with. Hazurian though does even this out to a 5v6, and their Goo Time is brought back into the fight, so it's a 5v5. As Notorious finds the one to ruin in the back end with no Transcendence. This Graviton is free to wreak havoc. The Dragon Surge comes out, and that's gonna pick up 2 kills right there with 1/3 of their team down. It's just Goo Time left and trying to get something done. Notorious is gonna claim the kill onto him, so they're gonna keep pushing here with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Well, a little more than that, as they're gonna finally able to cap this out, and they bring it up to 3 minutes 40 seconds for this final push. Do you think it's enough time?
Yeah, I think it's definitely enough time. They have enough time to kind of push this all the way, and I love that last fight how it started. They took the bite out of Reignited. They got rid of the DPS first, so that fight was just getting rid of those big HP people.
Yeah, you get rid of the DPS, wait for the Mercy res, and then you strike onto the DPS in the backline, or the healers in the backline, right? And then you can't res the healers, so now the Mercy feels bad right now. Probably Ruin's like, res Goo Time over me? Come on, Bubble Team, but they're coming back out here. Bear fixing the first kill on Cavers to start things off. Foiler with a counter pick, 5v5 now on the point, and there's a shatter onto his Zur, and he goes down before he can get the fire strike off, however. Looks like he just tripped over something. But Transcendence to the point to counteract that, and now lots of support ultimates coming up from both sides here. Robodude as well using the Valkyries and the K-Birds. There's a Graviton Surge, and there the Dragon Surge combo comes out with the support ultimates. It's gonna be big once more with 4. Bear sweeps him up and gets him out of there, you know, just clears him out really. The janitor for the team just comes in, sweeps them off their feet. As they're gonna be shoved back around this corner. So the Reignited can set up now here. They're got some time to regroup and prepare for the next Havoc push.
Yeah, and Havoc is gotta be getting a little tired of this. I mean, that's 2 Dragon Surges that's been ending and pushed. And here we go, Goo Time up on that ledge, so he might be coming down for a little Beyblade action.
Some sneaky plays here that we can see from him. Various, of course, has his own, but no, Goo Time gonna jump down instead of opting for the less sneaky play. Probably his team might have called for that, and there's a Graviton Sword that comes out, and here's a Dragon's. Welcome to season 10, everybody. That's 5 kills. Notorious with a BIG Dragon Surge combo. That is some great stuff. That is hey, season 10. Am I right? This is what all you do. Zarya's got Crab, Hanzo's got Dragon Strike. You just put the 2 halves together, and what do you get? You get a nice meal of the Dragon Surge combo, or the Tornado Surge, depending on where you're at. Goo Time Trove, go. Goo Time though, with 2 kills there onto Robodude, and Notorious is gonna end there with a triple kill. Actually onto Foiler as well. They're trying to come back here, but with Big Head with a charge onto his Zur, and in there, Bubble Team and Goo Time being finished off. They're gonna be able to cap this out just in time. Various puts them on their backs. Says take a well-deserved rest after that push.
Man, on this one, we're not even done with the map, ladies and gentlemen. On just this one half, we saw 3 successful Dragon Surges. It's so powerful.
Back
and
to back to back.
Yeah.
To back.
And I love how they just know they know, like, okay, we'll use the Dragon Surge after Zen ults, because Zen ult is really the only thing that's gonna counter a Dragon Surge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, as soon as that trend is gone, you just have to look out for a Dragon Surge, and I think it comes down to the team that who's gonna force out that Zen ult first. You know, who's gonna make the team. Who's gonna make the enemy Zen press Q first, and after that Q is pressed, just be careful if you're grouped up, because you might get a Dragon Surge thrown at you.
Do not group up. Avoid that, especially if your trans is down, you know. And that's what they did, is they baited out the Transcendence and the Mercy ult with all that sustained damage early on, but you see what they had in their back pocket. The ace up their sleeve, if you would, was the Dragon Surge combo. They had the Graviton waiting and ready from Bryce T, as they were still grouped up from the aftermath of the Transcendence. You know, Bryce T saw his moment, he went for it, and that's a big grab. He's not holding on to it. I've noticed Bryce T has been playing the Zarya more. It seems he's more comfortable on the role, at least here on King's Realm.
Yeah, and on the side of Reignited, we're going to give up the Dragon Surge in favor of the Pharmacy, but I think Dragon Surge isn't as big as a deal with this team because Reaper could phase out of it. Fair is mostly going to be in the air, and Mercy's going to mostly be in the air as well, so we might not get that big of a Dragon Surge this happen.
You see, they're shifting back to the comp that they used in the previous rounds with this Farm Mercy. They want to go back to basics here. Don't want to try anything too crazy. Don't want to force the meta like we were talking about in Volskaya. But they're going to be starting out of the point. Bear brings a lot of ground here for the team early on. And you've got Big Head holding around the corner at 22% on the ult charge, but there Bear is with a charge in the back line. That's going to be risky, and he is going to pay for it with his life as Big Head gives him tackle to think about. Bryce T does take down due time, so they're going to be pushing back the Reignited initially, the Havoc.
Yeah, and I think I would say that's the third time in this match that Varus has kind of ended his team's push because he charged in there. I mean, even look at that. Even if you get a DPS pinned to the wall and maybe get like a kill or something, you dived into a 4-man back there, so you're gonna die. And a team without the Reinhardt, rough. There's another charge.
And yeah, Furious, he is gonna be so low here. There's a shatter though as Furious to back out, but he was knocked back Big Head there, so he's gonna die early on. Foiler and Bryce T make up for it with the 2 kills of their own. Bear though does find a Robo-Dude on the point. Bryce T is well cleaning up the rest of this team as Bear tries to escape, but Foiler is there with that anti-air damage on the McCree. So they've got 2 ultimates here to work with, almost 3 really. Count the 92% on that Valkyrie. And the Reignited really don't have a whole lot. They could go for the barrage, but they don't have anything to combo with it.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. So we're gonna see if things could work out here for Reignited. They're close to a couple ults, but it's going down.
Dropped the shield, went for the fire strike, and he is gonna get bursted down by the fire strike of Big Head, and then the storm arrows of Notorious, who has the dragon strike now. So they're pushed back once more. That was just one pick really that just sealed the deal on him.
Yeah, and it feels like the 2 tanks coming out for Reignited, I feel like they're opposites of what they should be. Their main tank is too aggressive, and their off tank is a little too defensive. So
Furious though finally gets the charge in there. Bear with a barrage in the backline, Transcendence to counter, but it's a little bit too late. Foiler though with a that's a big Deadeye right there. There we go, 2 kills onto Bubble Tea and Ruin, both supports down, no healing, no sustain, and Hazard and Gutime are just forced to die, so Havoc push them back once more as they've got 1 minute and 17 left to go.
You know, I have this map 5 tingling in the back of my head right now. I have a feeling we might get it.
I have a feeling we might get it as well, as it seems initially like the Havoc is going to be able to clutch this out, possibly a full hold. Don't want to get too cocky, don't want to jinx them. Caster's Curse, of course. Somebody knocked on wood for me, because I'm busy spectating the game, of course. But there are the Dragons, Graviton Surge combo. There's nothing else there. Time is there. Follow up with a Death Blossom, but there's a Dragon Surge combo as well that's going to come out. Can't find anyone as Robo-Dude is going to go down to Gutime once more. So Foiler backs into the hotel, but you're not welcome here. Bear doesn't even let him check in. Takes him down before he's through the door, so I jinxed it. I did it.
Yeah,
it's my fault there. I'm
The
sorry,
Caster's
Havoc. I ruined it. Caster's Curse on this team. What have I done?
You know, Havoc is still able to hold it. They have a chance to still be able to hold it.
Yeah, they only have about 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so they have a lot in. They don't have a whole lot in terms of time. So, ooh, Bear. There we go. Finds Notorious right away. It's not looking good here for the Havoc with that early pick there. Robo-Dude doesn't go for the res because Notorious was in such a strange position. So it's back to the shield war on this point. Furious takes the fire strike to the face and he gives them one in turn there. Foiler off to the side is low. He's trying to fight off the diva of of Hazard by himself, but there a Valkyrie is popped from Robodude to try and keep the team alive. He's got the sustain going so far. No damage boost, however. Come on, I want to see a damage boost. You have a mouse too, right? You want a damage boost this team. Everyone's full health anyways. And Big Head could really make use of it here with that 75 damage hammer. Buff him up. Let him do a little more damage, you know? Ruin, though, is going to find Foiler. And with Bear behind the team, and he's going to realize his positioning error and back out, find Bubble Tea there. He is damage boosting his Pharah. And he's got a barrage to work with if he can get around the back of them. And I think they're waiting for Virius here with the Shadow to come in with us.
Yeah, definitely. It just seems. I think the switch to D.Va, that was like a good switch, but he's just playing so defensively that we don't see a dive coming in from D.Va. It's kind of even hard to notice that they have a D.Va, while the Reinhardt is being too aggressive and diving in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Is that Virius is being too aggressive, and Hazard is not backing him up when he goes into the dives. But there, the Robodude goes down right away, and there's a big shatter, but there's a big counter shatter. Notorious is gonna get the D-Mech onto Hazard, and there was a barrage that came up from Bear. Couldn't find anyone, however. He was a bit lost there in all the chaos and confusion. So he's up in the air, and he's forced to back out as the Reignited are gonna be pushed back once more. So the Havoc, with 54 seconds left, looking to make this work. They have ult advantage in this next fight. They have the Dragon Surge combo, of course. It's going to come down to Bryce T to deliver the package.
Yep, definitely. Here comes the final push. It's going to be a rough, nitty-gritty fight, just because spawn advantage kind of favors defense just a tiny bit.
Just a tad, you know, it's just around that corner, but both teams definitely have a long walk. It's about as even as it's going to get, I'd say. Maybe a little bit defender-sided, but they're trying for a bit of a flank push here. Blue time in the back line. There we go. Finds Haberts, but Bryce T and Foiler, both of themselves, are going to find 3 themselves. And with 4 there as Hazard goes down and charge on the Ruin. Big Head comes up big here with a team kill to wipe him out. 10 seconds left on the point, and they're free to push forward as far as they want because you know they can't get back to the point. So the Havoc, map 4, it's going to be, as this is going to even out to a 2-2.
Yes, here we go.
Map 4 and map 5.
Right. And we didn't talk about it a lot during this match, but I think Big Head performed so well this match. I mean, that counter ult at the end, man, like what a way to end that. That was amazing. And we weren't talking about it a lot just because we got these Dragon Surges just like now. This is what, 5, I believe?
A 5 sweep. You know, Vic pulled one of these off in the Overwatch League, but Notorious does it better, really. And it shows to Vic who the real master of the Dragon Surge combo is. He's going to take them out. So we are going to see this map 5 here. Some real poggers gameplay coming out. So it's going to be a control once more. So each team captain is going to ban a map, and then I myself as the match referee will choose one. So I'm gonna let Pulse do the talking here, and on what he is excited for in this control on map 5, and who he thinks is gonna come out on top.
Oh, who I think is gonna come out on top is definitely a topic that's gonna be a long conversation with myself, but I think right now you saw at the end that stat page. We saw the pharmacy getting the 2 player cards up there coming out of Reignited, and on Havoc we got Big Head coming out, just like we said. So it was the people that we were telling you guys to focus on that was doing well. I mean, the Dragon Surges were great out of both teams. I mean, they shut each other down back to back, but like we said, these are 2, I believe, even teams going against each other right now, and it just it might be something big brewing here. This last fight, I believe, might be the best one yet. It could possibly be the best one yet. Foiler, we may not see. We see him get a pick here and there. His McCree play is definitely something that he wants to improve on. He's landing good high noons. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
The high noons are coming out on point. He's getting those doubles. I've seen him got a triple once. Yeah, he's mostly sometimes he'll use the one to either reload or just get the one pick or something like that. But there's just both teams. You could give props on both sides. Supports DPS tanks. Both sides are just being performing excellent. They're all executing what they need to execute, and sometimes it just comes down. I love it when it comes down to that we can nitpick them. Like, we don't have to point out anything big like, oh, you shouldn't have pressed Q there, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. It's just those tiny things like, okay, maybe a little positioning error here and there, and that's how you can tell teams are good. These guys have great comms because when we see like a graviton surge coming out or a shatter coming out, it seems more like maybe there's a Reaper and there's a Hanzo that both have the ult to combine with that. And I love that only one of them is using the ult to combine with it, because if you're in any other team that doesn't communicate, both of these guys will be like, oh, I want that play of the game. So they're both going to try to press Q when the enemies are either grouped up or just lying there on the floor. So I love it. I love that we're seeing this coordination, this communication. Mechanical skills are very close as well. And it's just going to be rough. We're going to see if Havoc has an answer to this pharmacy. Pharah is a very common run on one of these maps, on one of the Oasis maps. I forgot what it's called exactly, but Pharah is run often on Oasis a lot. Where I could guarantee you we're going to see it coming out from Bear. I'd even say 90%. I'd say Bear's going to run that Pharah. So it's going to be up to Foiler running that McCree, take him down. We're going to see Bryce T. I'm hoping he's going to switch smoothly between that Zarya and that D.Va, because it seems like if he's doing well on one and he switches mid-match over, it's kind of hard for him to get that adjustment. I feel like he gets in grooves with certain tanks. So like if he's in a groove with D.Va and he has to, and his team is telling him like switch over to Zarya, and he switches over to Zarya, it gets a little bit rough for him. So I'd say if on a map, if you want Bryce T to run a tank, just run that tank and adjust the comp around them, you know. So yeah, map 5, here we go.
Can pause real quick. Yeah, this is what it comes down to with these teams, right? You got everything riding on the line, and it's gonna come down to these teams to see if they can show up where it matters. You know what I'm saying? If this is where it is, right? This is when the teams need to step up. This is when you can't make positioning errors. This is when you can't slip up in your mechanics. This is when you need to be on your A game. You need to be at razor focus here. You cannot slip up. You cannot make a mistake, because that's going to determine the winner of this match. Is who is going to make the least mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. And on this map in particular, we're going to see oh no, Bear deciding not to run that pharmacy. Maybe later. Right now, they're going to run that Hanzo. Like I said, Gutime just loves this niche pick with Reaper. He's kind of run it this whole day, and if he loves running it, then it's worked out well for him with the combinations with the Gravitons or the Shatters. And we see a Brigitte coming out on the side of I'm blanking on the name right now.
That would be the Reignited.
Reignited, yes, correct. Brigitte coming out on the side of Reignited.
Silvercasters, lol.
Yes, Silvercasters, yeah, exactly. I'm working on it. Okay.
Team names. Shake my head. Come on, Pulse.
I'm sorry. I'm getting better. I'm too excited for this game 5. I'm shaking.
Yeah.
I can't even think about this combination right now.
Perfectly understandable. But you got Bryce T. See, look at this. Everyone on their comfort picks right now. Bryce T. going back to this Ryan Zarya, and you've got the rest of the teams here. And now they're going to start off on the point. The Reignited are going to take initially the most ground, it seems, with Big Head. So they're going to put a stop to that. He drills a fire strike right down the middle. Bubble Tea was hit with that, and he's going to get hit with a lead of Foiler as well. And there another fire strike comes out. He's got to be careful though. Barra though, he's going to be taking down a Foiler. So there, 2 again. 2 from Big Head as well. And there's Bryce T finishes off as Zerton. It's just Gutime on the run, and it's the bells were tolling for him. You know, there wasn't much there. Not much left he could do when you've got all 6 members of the Havoc just running at you.
Yeah, and that was great. I love that. When you see Big Head charge in there, the D.Va and the Mercy went with him. You know, it's not like we see him with Varus. When he charges in here, he's all alone. Nobody's going in with him, and I think that could maybe be the difference maker here.
It is the difference maker, you know, because with that Mercy down so early on, you have to play more careful. Right, you gotta take it more slowly because you don't have that sustain for the Mercy. And Notorious almost goes over the edge. He's gonna safety just in time, but they've taken the high ground here. Now they jump off it. I would have kept holding up there if I was the Reignited right now, but they're trying to make it work regardless. There's about 60% on the Graviton Surge, and they've got 75% if you're the for Bear here. Charge from Varus comes out, blocked by the bubble, but you can't block the charge there. Varus is gonna fall very early on in this fight with another Fire Strike. Big Head showing up in this fight as K-Birds as well finds his he's been laying dormant for a little bit, but K-Birds finally hatching out of his egg here and showing that he can get some picks too. Did get the play of the game a few matches ago, so you know, don't sleep on K-Birds.
Yeah, we might see a dragon. We might see a Dragon Surge coming out here pretty soon.
Dave, got Transcendence. K-Birds has the Transcendence to counter it, so will it be enough? Will it be enough? Is the question. It will be enough healing and sustain to keep the team alive. And will it even happen in the first place? Because Zerg's got to be careful. He doesn't go down early on in the fight. They've got to be careful. There we go. There it is. There's a Dragon Surge combo looking to come out here. There, K-Birds died. Did not even choose to use it there in the fight. They're going to opt to lose this one instead. You see, actually could be a smart play out of them. Because they're just going to choose to let them burn all their ults now. And they've got 96%, so they really only need one more push. And maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm probably overthinking it in this team. And probably just a mistake at a K-Birds.
Yeah, I mean, usually in that situation, maybe after they VOD review, they say like, okay, K-Birds maybe could have used the ult there, but I mean, with the 96%, like you said, you only need to win one push, so who knows?
Yeah. And right away, they're gonna concede just a little bit. They're just around 15% on this point. They're gonna back out of it though, and you've got Various here over on the side, trying to go for the flank shatter if you're the Reinhardt, but he's gotta be careful. He doesn't die before he can use it here, as he's gonna is gonna die. Notorious there. Takes out Bear before that, but he did it. Furious is brought back into the fight, but with no shield, he's gonna get the shatter off. Furious looks for a shatter of his own, and Spoiler right next to him goes in for the Deadeye combo. There's the shatter we're looking for, but Brightspeed drops the Diva Bomb on the point. This could be big. It's not gonna be big, as Furious is gonna block that, but he can't block it for long, and Spoiler's gonna take him out. There's a Dragon Strike on the point. It's not comboed with anything, so it's just the grilled cheese by itself. It's alright, but it's not gonna be the best meal in the world. I'm still using this analogy. Should probably move on to a different joke here, but you don't need to, as Notorious picks up the Storm Arrow kill, and they're gonna retake the point with 99% and no members of the Reignited to be found. They actually trying to get someone on just in time. They've got Goo Time there ready. It is his time to show up, but it is also his time to leave, as the Havoc just kindly escort him to the exit there. And there's a Dragon Strike on the point once more, and there's a Graviton as well, but their K-Bird finally uses the Transcendence. He was saving it here, it seemed, for this fight when you didn't need it for the combo, and as Ruin falls on the point, their push and chances of taking this point back are ruined.
Yeah, exactly. That was great. That was great execution from Havoc. Notorious. I was focused on him in this match because I wanted to see how this Hanzo was going to come into play. It seemed like maybe Hanzo wasn't the best pick here, but I focused on him a lot, and I loved how when the fight started, he would wrap around the side. Everybody would be focused on the big tanks with Zarya and Reinhardt up front, and then he would just wrap up behind them, and then get the pick on the Mercy or get the pick on the Zenyatta or the Lucio. And it's just big. Like, doing stuff like that is just, the little things can make the difference in these matches, especially when these teams are so close and skilled. It comes down to little stuff like that.
Like I said, it's gonna come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. Is what it was. So far, it seems like the Havoc are ahead in the mistake game. They're looking cleaner than they were in some of the previous maps. They've improved for sure. The last time I saw them play, they were very sloppy with their ultimate usage. That has to be on the mind, and that's why you see these such emphasis on the old combinations that they're coming out here with. But the point is now open for capture, and you've got the patty cake going on between the teams. Bryce T off to the side is going to find Bear to start things off. He's blocking now the body of Bear, denying that res, but Big Head's going to fall on the point to Goo Time there. He's going to be brought back into the fight, however, as K-Birds takes down Ruin, and it's just a certain off to the side with Bubble Tea, and here you're going to swat it around. The Moth falls, and Spoiler is popping off here with 2 kills on that point. Look how close he is to his ultimate, 95%, so he's building that high noon so quickly.
Yeah, and I think that fight was lost, and maybe that goes on Varus' shoulders, just because he put down the shield too much. He was trying to Dragon Strike, he was trying to get the pick with the charge, and maybe that wasn't working out too well.
Well, trying to Fire Strike, not Dragon Strike there. He's
Fire
Ryan
Strike.
Onzo, Einrart. Not sure how you make a combination between the two, but it'd be interesting to see. But you got the Fire Strike coming out there. Goo Time does find the kill into Notorious onto the side, but Bryce T is there to counteract that. Not sure if that's the smartest decision for Bryce T, as he of course got that much burst damage from the Reaper. But the charge comes out, and there it is, finally High Noon, and there we go. 2 kills there for out of Foiler. He delivers. It is definitely High Noon out here today, and Big Head and K-Bird's gonna be taking down 2 of them as well. It's not High Noon where you are, it's High Noon somewhere in the world, and apparently where Foiler is, it's always High Noon.
Yeah, like I said, he gets 1 and 2 picks here and there with just the normal left clicks, but his High Noons have been on point today. It's so impressive.
He's turning on the Jets here. He wants to carry this team all on the back of his watches here. You know, he's got a good sense of time. He knows when to use the High Noons. And you got Goo Time, he's bubbled. He's close to the Death Blossom, but there's a Dragon Strike to split up the team. It's just the tanks on the point. Graviton Surge comes out, but their K-Birds counteracts that, and they won't have a Dragon Strike to counter that, as Bear is far behind. And this Goo Time is going to fall. Big Head once more makes some space on the point, so they're going to be holding strong here. Havoc, the Reignited, have got to come back here if they want to have their chances of winning this match, because with 90% counting, time's a wasting.
Yep. Here comes the Dragon to open up the fight just to get his team in there. Oh, it actually does find Road.
This is it. This could be what the Reignited need. As they're gonna. Oh no, Big. It looks like it's gonna shut this down initially. Foiler went for the High Noon, but that's gonna get shut down by a shatter from Furious, and there he's gonna get found as well. So now the Reignited turning the kill feed blue right now with a charge onto K-Bird in the back, so they're gonna cap this out. This is the Reignited. This is the reverse. The retake on the point that they need. This is where they start building percentages. Goo Time on the Doofus now. You know he's angry. You know they want to win this, and this is it. This is what it comes down to right here.
Yeah, this is the big matches that we need to come out from both these teams right now. Both these teams are hungry. They both want this win, as there's a fight on 2 sides of the map right now.
Ruin's gonna fall right early on in the fight. Went for the charge on Virius, but he found Ruin instead. That is the better pick there, but Goo Time in the backline finds Robo-Dude. Can't res the Resurrector, but you can res Ruin. You're not gonna need to though in this fight. He's backed out big time. Big Head punched into the wall by Goo Time there. And now he's got 65% on the Slayers, trying to make something work, and the closest Goo Time is just going off on this Doofus. He's just spacing them all off the point. He is a force to be reckoned with, the leader of talent, possibly the leader of this team on this DPS role, just getting so many picks. They're now backing into the side room here. You've got Foiler, you've got the rest of the team, but Notorious is found with a charge from Virius there. Foiler has got to be careful he doesn't get taken down himself, and you got Goo Time there with another punch onto K-Birds. Call him One Punch Man, because he's just left and right, punch after punch. 1 OHK.
And we might even see a Surge Slam? I don't know what you call it.
Jam. The Space Jam. That's what it is called. Yeah. Right here, they've got to be ready. You got to be careful it doesn't get eaten up by Bryce T on the vacuum cleaner. But no, Goo Time is dead. This is big. This is huge. Notorious finds the clutch pick, and the Foiler can get a big high lead. They won't need it though with a Dragon Surge combo. Bryce T drops the bomb on the point. Can he get the kills from it? Doesn't seem like it. Shatter comes out of the point, but Furious has the bubble to block himself from the damage off. You got the Coalescence gonna knock down Bryce T with a Shatter from Furious. They're spacing him off the point. 99 to 99% on this point. They're trying to make something work. Goo Time! 2 kills right there. And his Furious finds Big Head as well. Reignited are gonna look to take this in their favor. The rest of the team is dropping like flies. It's Notorious left along with Robo-Dude on the sidelines. He's gonna go in for the res, but he gets punched into the wall. Say Tama Goo Time. Oh my goodness gracious, and Reignited does it. This is gonna be brought to the last map. This is where all the chips are in. This is what it comes down to, this last map. This is gonna decide who's the winner in perhaps the most intense OWC match we have ever seen.
Goo Time is telling you right now, I want that win. He put this team on his shoulders, brought out the Doomfist. He's been the niche pick this whole time. He was running Reaper earlier, and now he's running Doomfist. I mean, man, this man says, I don't even know the definition of meta, all right? This sounds like metal. What is that? I don't even know what that is. He's running whatever he thinks he's going to pop off on, and man, is he delivering here.
He does it, which is the crazy part. And he's still staying on this Doofus. They need to shut him down if you're the Havoc. If they want to win this map, they need to stun him with Foiler and the rest of the team. That's gonna be the question, is can you shut down Goo Time? And they gotta watch out for Bear as well on the Sphera. They're flanking around on the side, and Goo Time He's looking for his opportunity to make a big punch, and they're all gonna go up onto the jump pad to take the high ground. Of course, so important, the high ground, because you have now the positioning advantage over this team. But Bryce T comes up on the side. That's a danger. He's in the danger zone right now. He's got to be really careful he doesn't get D-Mech. Now he's gonna be able to back out to his team just in time, but Goo Time goes in. It's his time, but there he gets shut down. That is what I like to see. Foiler, he stuns him and he's gonna be taken down right away. Furious with a charge, collision course. Watch out with Furious. So they're gonna be knocking each other down. They just cancel each other's charges out on the point. That is what you want to do for the Reinhardts. But there, as Furious shields goes down, this is what they need to capitalize on as much as they need to be swinging back and forth on the point. Furious is low. He is gonna be taken down by K-Birds. Ruin is low and Bubble Tea in the back line. Goo Time is back, however. This is where the clutch potential of him comes in. He's gonna go in, but he's gonna be shut down. He's gonna be jumping back by just a little bit, but there he's gonna make 2 kills to start this off right away. And there, Bear is gonna take on Foiler. In this fight, Dave, no team has tapped the point yet. This is insane. This fight's been going on for so long. As Goo Time finds the kill with the big head as well. Finally, the Reignited have some time to breathe and cap this point.
Man, oh man, what a fight we have here today, ladies and gentlemen. This is amazing.
This is match.
Yeah, I love this. I love Doom from Pharmacy. I think that's like such an interesting thing to throw at people.
It works, is the crazy part. It's so effective. And now you've got Goo Time with the space, with the slam jam combo. He doesn't have anything, doesn't have a graviton. Can't have the space jam, but you can still get the slam jam. And there, Varus is gonna fall very early on, and the meteor strike comes out here. Goo Time looking to get an early pick, and he's not gonna find anybody there. But Foiler does. Big head though, gonna be sent into the wall and back to the spawn by Goo Time once more. A certain D-Mech now on the point. Foiler's trying to make something work here. Notorious is gonna take down Goo Time with the help of K-Boards there, and Certain as well fall on the point. There, Notorious finishes off Barrett. So the Havoc are able to come back and cap this point, turn it in their favor as well. It's Bubble Tea, he's left alone. He's gonna fall. Furious and Ruin come out, try to go for a contest, but Furious just falls right away. He's hiding in the middle. They're gonna converge it on him right now. It's Ruin left alone. They're gonna cap though. They did get some stall though, so it's 55%.
Yeah, and Havoc still has a lot of ults. They have practically 4. So yeah, it could still, they still have a lot of time to stall this out and work. And I love how Bryce T is solely focusing on that pharmacy comp.
He is really their only alternative to dealing with it, except for Foiler. And speaking of Foiler, finds Goo Time. So with the Doomfist down, he's got the High Noon, and he's free to use it without being fear of CC'd. But look who's back. The Undertaker is here. It's Goo Time. He's looking to get something. Foiler with an aerial High Noon, blocked by Zerton. However, that was very clever out of him. Goo Time knocks Bryce T off the high ground. Furious here. Sneaky Reinhardt in the back line, blocks the flashbang of Foiler. He's looking to get a flank shatter work here, but he's gonna die to Bryce T. He was there to counteract that Bear though. Counter pick there, and here the barrage comes out. He can't find anybody as the Transcendence is there from K-Burst to counteract it. And the Notorious finds Bear back onto this point. They're trying to even out the percentage here as Zerton is able to find the micro missile kill onto Big Head. He drops a bomb on the point, not gonna find anybody as K-Burst ducks around the corner along with him, setting aside their team alliances for the meantime. But there's a slam in the middle. He can't find anybody, however, but the blue team of Reignited burning hotter than ever with Goo Time on this Doomfist, and they're gonna be able to recap this point.
Oh man, what a back and forth fight we're having here right now. And you can see the counters are coming out from each other. And I think at this point, there's not a lot we could really talk about on how these comps interact with each other, because they've been running the same cons against each other. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses. This team knows each other well now. And yeah, it's just coming down to mechanical skill. That's
what it is. Bryce T switches over to the Zarya here. They want to get the counter. They gotta be careful though. They have to shut down Goo Time because he's getting, again, punch after punch on Big Head here. They have to be really careful that he doesn't die early on in this fight, because you got Goo Time sneaking around the back here. You've got Bear, Rainin, of course, raining shots down from above, and there's a shatter from Various though. There we go, Big Head. I love that. That was amazing there. He blocks the charge of Various, shuts down the picks, but it's not enough as they're able to get the points. It's 99% of the point here. Reignited. There's another shatter for Big Head here. He's swinging back and forth to the point. Goo Time though in the back is going to be able to find the kills that they need. Various is going to get the charge. No, not Furious. Goo Time finishes out, and that's going to be the clutch that they need. So the Reignited are going to finally clutch this out at the very end on the back of Goo Time on this Doomfist. He is my match MVP.
Oh, yeah. like it's not even for debate. As he gets to play on Reaper, he doesn't even get to play on Doofus.
Doesn't get to shine as Reaper, doesn't get to shine as Doofus. Does get to shine as Reaper, however, as he finishes the foiler up top, and then look at that. He's got time on the clock. He doesn't even need to use the Death Blossom. That was some insane play. Why does Goo Time not get a card, Jeff? Come on, what is this? I want to see how many elims he had.
Yeah, insane. I mean,
Excellence
I
is
think
its
that
own
final fight
reward.
came down to Bryce T switching to Zarya, and that just gave Bear free reign. It's like, okay, well, there's no defense matrix to eat my rockets. I'm just gonna keep raining down rockets, and that's definitely how that match went. What an amazing match we had today. All 4
What a
maps, all
set.
5 maps.
Whew.
Yeah.
I am exhausted, dude. I am exhausted after that match. I'm sure all these players are as well, and they can take now a well-deserved break as the Reignited win this in a map 5. What an insane set that we've had today. If there is one that you would be glad to tune in for this, it was this one.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man.
Who was your match MVP though? For Havoc is the question here.
For Havoc, it has to be Big Head. I mean, man, what a good main take. I mean, look, we talked a lot about Varus, about how he was too aggressive as a main tank, but if you want a defensive main tank, Big Head is your man. I mean, look at that. Every time there's twice we saw. I mean, it could have been even more, where there was a big shatter and Big Head just came in to kind of block Varus from charging his team, and like he was just good. He kept the shield up a lot, and like he gave Foiler and Notorious room to pop off, and he did, and it was great. My match MVP for Havoc, definitely Big Head.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Big Head, you know, we talked a lot about Various and the mistakes that he made, but Big Head did not make any of those mistakes himself, and that is now as these teams are gonna file on out of here, take a well-deserved break. I need to take a break myself, I know. So Pulse, you can go ahead and close out here because I'm done.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this OWC match. What a match! Probably the best we've had this season, definitely ever. That's up for contention. I mean, all right, everybody, have a great night. I am Pulse. I was your color caster for today. That is Rien. He was your play-by-play. Make sure you guys follow if you want to see more matches. And everybody, have a great night.